Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Over the past 20 years, Wisconsin has seen a huge increase in reported elder abuse cases. Elder abuse is the verbal, physical, emotional, sexual, or financial abuse of a senior citizen. It can also be the intentional or unintentional neglect of an older person. Wisconsin's population of seniors 65 and older is projected to grow significantly in the coming decades. That's why we all share the responsibility to help protect our seniors by recognizing and reporting any signs of elder abuse. If you believe that elder abuse has been inflicted upon yourself or someone you know, please report it. Call the Wisconsin Elder Abuse Hotline toll-free at 1-833-586-0107 or visit reportelderabusewI.org. Respect our elders. Report abuse. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Justice.
This project is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $120,000 with 100% funding by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanders Home Entertainment, Flanders.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanders Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanders, just press play.
Join John McCure and the WTMJ Cares campaign. Help us preserve the legacy of local hero Captain Lance Saijon, who died as a POW in Vietnam. Text Lance to 855-616-1620 to learn how you can support this vital cause. Honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice for us. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 3:01. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: launching a criminal probe into the second assassination attempt of Donald Trump.
I'm Julia Fellow. Who's suing the city of Racine and why?
I'm Debbie Lazago, westbound 94, right about at St. Paul Avenue. We got the left lane blocked with a broken down vehicle. So that's backing things up in through the Marquette in all directions. Also right around 35th Street, we got, looks like it's another vehicle that's broken down right about at 35th off on the right shoulder. Eastbound 94, we got backups from 84th Street through the stadium and 41 southbound, slowing from Appleton Avenue all the way down to Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, a little bit of patchy fog. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 86 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says state authorities will launch a criminal probe into the apparent assassination attempt of Donald Trump.
In addition to holding the suspect accountable, the public deserves to know the truth about how this assassination came to be. And I have directed all state agencies to work expeditiously to be able to uncover the truth, in addition to holding this suspect accountable.
The latest on this coming up at 3:45 when CBS Chief Washington Correspondent Major Garrett joins us live.
Today is National Voter Registration Day. When Taylor Swift endorsed Harris last week, more than 400,000 people alone registered to vote. News Nation Ryan Boss.
It's not just Swifties rushing to register here. This could turn out to be one of the most engaging elections in recent memory. And millennials and Gen Z, they could be the ones that could actually decide this thing. Now, today will be the single biggest day in terms of voter registration push that we will see this election cycle, with both political parties trying to get people out to register to vote. So that way they can hopefully see more increases in this election. Voter registration platform Vote.org said that they have registered more than 1 million new voters during this election cycle.
Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are nearly tied in a lot of polls across our country, with both campaigns keeping a close eye on registration numbers.
Decision Wisconsin, 2 campaign stops in the Badger State this week. Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance will stop at the Eau Claire Event Center 4:30 this afternoon with a focus on securing the border. And Vice President Kamala Harris will head to Madison on Friday. This will be her 4th visit to the state.
The Republican National Committee suing the city of Racine for failing to hire enough Republican election inspectors to meet our state's requirements. The RNC claims Racine hired disproportionately more Democrats for the August primary election. Wisconsin law requires that appointments of election inspectors be made from the list of the nominees submitted by the political parties. The Racine County clerk tells WTMJ in anticipation of potential increases in meritless litigation leading up to the presidential election, we are steadfast in maintaining consistent standards.
8 Random Lake students are recovering after a rollover bus crash Monday in Ozaukee County. Sheriff Christy Knowles says an initial investigation shows multiple factors may have led to a Jeep to collide with the bus.
That is a problematic intersection in our county. During that time of day, yes, the sun is an issue. There is no indication that calls were made, text messages were sent. She did state that her windows were fogging up and there was a light fog.
The Jeep's driver, Becca Stevenson, was cited for failing to yield for a stop sign, but has not been criminally charged for the crash.
Coming up, are you thinking about the holidays? If not, you maybe should be.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 3:05.
Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
The Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales, Luther Gray.
James Imaging has been a wonderful partnership with the Milwaukee Symphony and just great to work with.
In what ways?
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
Luther James Imaging Systems is a local business technology company that stands with their clients over the long term.
Yes, before, during, and after the sale, James Imaging is there, and they are making sure you get the full value in life of every product that you have with them.
Luther, any advice for others looking for a long-term business technology partnership?
I would tell them that James Imaging is the way to go.
Start your business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems today. It's easy to do. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
We've found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semper Fi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what always faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 3:07.
The hottest toys are here, are expected to top kids' wish lists and maybe sell out by Christmas.
The list is from a team of experts from the review site Toy Insider. Alvy Marjeski is editor-in-chief and says of those that could sell out quickly.
Bluey, of course, makes an appearance. A tiny Target checkout lane, which is just like you'll see in Target stores, so parents will love that just as much as kids will.
And yes, artificial intelligence makes an appearance.
Play Poe AI Story Bear on that list, which features the safe use of artificial intelligence to help kids tell stories through a plush bear.
Matt Piper, CBS News.
From the Brewer Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers can wrap up the division and a playoff berth with a win tonight over the Phillies and a Cubs loss to the A's. Brewers manager Pat Murphy.
Hope they keep competing the way that they have, and we'll just keep going and keep our head down. And when good things come our way, we'll just hopefully they'll have to tap us on the shoulder and say, okay, it's over. We just keep our head down and play.
Coverage of tonight's game begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ, and the Packers begin the practice week on Wednesday. Head coach Matt LaFleur says Jordan Love will need to practice at some point this week in order to play Sunday against the Titans.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 3:08.
This report is sponsored by Fox World Travel. Visit foxworldtravel.com today for more information.
No matter what your timeline is, you deserve a journey to paradise with Fox World Travel and Royal Caribbean. When you get the craving for sunshine, poolside fun, and ocean views for miles, there's no reason to hold back. Make the most out of your time with an all-in-one cruise vacation. Let a Fox World Travel cruise expert save you from the daunting task of choosing from ships, ports, and staterooms. And visit foxworldtravel.com to plan your next cruise vacation. That's foxworldtravel.com.
$1 for just $1 over cost. You can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. Available at all 5 Griffin stores. Just $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Now your ideas do not have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do. Bring your ideas to life at Dell.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right. Hope your Tuesday's going fantastic. Thanks for hanging out with us. We've got a lot of ground to cover today, but first, what we're tracking right now.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
So that Brewers documentary called Just a Bit Outside about the 82 Milwaukee Brewers is really kicking butt. So on Rotten Tomatoes, that's the site where people rate the movies. It's got a 100% 5-star rating.
Whoa!
That's almost impossible.
Yes!
But it does. And in many theaters, including throughout southeast Wisconsin, it's beating the top movies at the box office like Beetlejuice. It's taken it down if you look at what the average is per screen. That's how they measure it. And you know what, Julia? It's so good that they've extended it for a second week. This documentary is in Marcus Theaters. They're adding theaters. They're showing it now in theaters in northern Illinois. Whoa. It's growing and growing and growing. They're hoping to get it in theaters in Minnesota. And it is super cool. The players love it. This is Raleigh Fingers talking about part of the 82 Brewers movie, which talked about the fans that year.
I've seen some people around here with my uniform top on, Paul Molitor's uniform, Robin Yount's uniform. The Milwaukee fans were great when we played here. I loved them, and this town was baseball crazy.
So check it out. Look for Just a Bit Outside at a Marcus Theater.
So we all know about what's going on with the Northridge Mall. It's finally going to be coming down. Demo crews and cleanup work is estimated to cost $15 million in federal grant money with the American Rescue Plan Act dollars awarded to the city by Governor Tony Evers. But you don't think of all the other things that may have lived in there for a long time. 2 beehives, John.
Whoa, okay.
And
I don't like bees.
There's an estimate. Our Jessica Ty interviewed Balustrade Environmental Developmental Inc. Those 2 hives could have up to 1 million bees.
What?
So we're going to save the bees. Isn't that incredible? Take a listen to what he has to say.
The second I heard about it, I said, hey, let's save them. Let's bring them out to the farm and give them a safe haven.
So they're all going to be going to a New Berlin firm that is hiring to do all of this. And I think it's really exciting because that New Berlin firm was working on asbestos.
Yeah.
And that's something you don't want anywhere.
That's right.
But we want to save the bees as well. And I think that that's awesome. They're going to find a new home. What a great place if I was a bee. You know?
My God. An empty, huge mall where you could fly around all day. That sounds perfect.
Exactly. But otherwise we would have had 1 million bees less in our area. And it's so important.
Yep, because we're already doing bad when it comes to pollinators and bees.
Isn't that great?
So that is great. Hey, the third thing of the 3 at 3 is 3 years after being pulled off shelves, it's back. Miller High Life Light. Light is back. So the champagne of beers is Miller High Life. I love Miller High Life. It's my favorite. High Life is 141 calories. Miller High Life Light has 96 and less alcohol. It's a great beer to drink during the summer. It is coming back just in the Great Lakes region to start with, responding to calls for its return from, Miller says, quote, a passionate fan base. So look for that. Miller High Life Light, look at that pretty little container, is going to be coming back to shelves near us soon.
Ooh.
Doesn't that look good?
Yeah.
Nice, warm summer afternoon. It is 3:13 at WTMJ. Up next, we continue to talk about the legacy of Bayview native Lance Sijon. I had a very special treat. The colonel in charge of the 128th Air Refueling Wing was here in the building. I sat down with him. We'll share that with you up next on WTMJ.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our Retirement Ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Just Between Friends, Milwaukee County. I wanted to give you a heads up. It is just 2 days away. I'm so excited. You're going to save so much money. The best sale for gently used, even brand new children's and teens clothing. It happens only twice a year. Just Between Friends, Milwaukee County. Happening this Thursday, September 19th through Sunday, September 22nd on the Wisconsin State Fair Expo Center grounds on Greenfield Avenue. You will find all of that gently used clothing, toys, equipment for your growing family at up to 90% off the retail price. Everything like brand new. It's put on by two sisters who I've come really close friends with, Missy and Melinda. They have full-time jobs. This is their side hustle that has become something huge. It's a whole community of women that have come together and want to help the next generation with some of their items, and then they consign. The average person who consigns makes $575. Great women. You can consign your items as well. Learn at milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com. That's milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com. I'll see you there.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Cornerstone Development. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact NX Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at nxwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Grandview Homes will buy your home fast, easy, and stress-free. No real estate agents, no repairs, no cleanouts needed. And our reputation is built on 15 years treating sellers with the dignity and respect they deserve. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today.
Traffic is sponsored by Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Lozica, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. Well, we still have this broken down vehicle up on the board. Westbound 94 right about at St. Paul Avenue. Left lane is blocked with a broken down vehicle there, so that is backing things up into the Marquette. Eastbound 94 slowing down from 76th Street through to about 35th Street. And then we've also got a couple of backups along southbound 41 between Silver Spring and Hampton and a little bit past Capitol Drive heading down towards Burleigh. And then westbound 894 backing up out of the Mitchell interchange all the way to about Loomis. I'm Debbie Lozica with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, patchy fog and much cooler, a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 86. On Thursday, sunny, 82. Friday, 83. Saturday, dry with a high of 80 degrees. It's currently 77. So we are raising money to preserve the legacy of Lance Saijan, a Bayview kid who grew up and went to the Air Force Academy, was shot down in Vietnam, spent time in the jungle just trying to survive. Saijan was eventually tortured and killed in Vietnam. Colonel Charles Merkel is a guy who I really admire. He's the guy in charge of the 128th Air Refueling Wing, and he's the boss out there. And he goes by this memorial every single day. I had the chance to talk with him. He came to the studios today to talk about Saijan and what's happening with the memorial. You know the story of Lance Saijan.
I do, yeah.
Tell me about Lance Saijan, how inspiring he is, why his story is important.
Well, when we prepare to go overseas and do the training for that, one thing we do is we go to SEER school, which is Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape, for anyone who's at risk of becoming a POW themselves. And they talk about how we're expected to act. They talk about our military code of conduct, which there's 6 points in the code of conduct, and 4 of those apply directly to POWs. And when you read Lance's story, it's extremely motivating, and he is the epitome of a POW who upheld all those points of the code of conduct. So it's very motivating for someone in uniform to read his story and to help him, affect how we would act in that situation.
So, Colonel, when you think about his story, he crashes, he's in the jungle for 46 days, he loses 100 pounds, literally, compound fracture,
Right.
can move like 10 feet a day. He's eventually captured, and then, despite being severely injured and beaten and tortured, refuses to give in to that code of conduct that you're all very familiar with.
Right.
Can you talk about that?
Well, he was relentless, and what I took away from the book is that he had the highest standards for his own personal conduct, and he was just a tough and a driven individual, and he was not going to sacrifice his reputation to be more comfortable or to try and get out unscathed or anything like that. He was going to fight till the end, and he certainly did that.
I want to thank you for your service, and as someone who wears the uniform, what kind of inspiration does it give you when you hear a story about a local hero from 50 years ago and what he did?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and we're honored to be serving right next to where he grew up, and it motivates me to do better. I think it should motivate all of us to do better, and part of the challenge is making sure that we know his story and that our current generation and future generations of uniformed members know who Lance Syjan is and what he did. But particularly, we're serving in the Milwaukee area here. He's a local hero, and we should know his story. And on the base at the 128th Refueling Wing, we have a hall named after him, and we have a spot designated to tell his story, and we want our people to pay attention to that.
I appreciate that. I know his family does, how you respect his legacy and you continue to live that legacy. Part of the legacy is that F4 Phantom that's on Howell Avenue at
Right.
our airport. It looks really cool, but if you look really close, it needs work, and you know because
It
you've been
does.
out there.
Yes.
And I appreciate that. How important is it that that part of his legacy be preserved and that we take care of that?
Yeah, that I think that's part of it, is showing that respect by making sure that memorial is always cared for and maintained properly. And yes, we did go out there quite recently with some of our experts in who are able to maintain aircraft, and we wanted to see, hey, is there anything the 128th can do to help out with the repair and the maintenance of the site? So we've got some ideas, and hopefully we can be part of that solution.
What did you discover? And you don't need to get really in the weeds, but when you went out there and looked at the plane and could take a closer look at it, paint the picture. What needs to be done?
Yeah, it's time. It needs a new coat of paint, maybe a little bit of repair on the radome, and then one thing when you preserve airplanes, you want to make sure that they're all closed up, that there's no areas for animals or birds to get in, and there are some areas on that airplane that need a little attention. So that's something that maybe we could do, is fabricate some screens and some panels to close out openings that are on the airplane, like vents and air intakes and things like that. So we're going to get our experts out there and see if we can do that. And as we go through this process of getting the airplane painted, which the effort that you're leading here, if we can be part of that solution, we'd want to do that.
It's important, isn't it, that we respect our heroes and we give them the dignity and that their legacy lives on. Is that important?
Absolutely. And what we've got set up out there with the F4 and the site around there, it is a beautiful spot. It's very nicely done. It's classy, and when you go there, you kind of get that feeling like it's an area to sit and reflect and pay some respect to a local fallen hero.
That is Colonel Charles Merkel. He's the guy in charge of the 128th. You know what? He gets it. He understands it. I didn't go into this in that little interview, but Merkel was a fighter pilot. He flew like the baddest planes in our arsenal, and now he's a pilot for the tanker refuelers. He goes by the memorial every day. And he's right. We need to restore this. We need to give it its proper place. Would you help us protect Lance Syjan's memory? It's easy. Text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. Text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. You get all the information, including a really beautiful article, some pictures. You can see what Lance Syjan looked like, and a little button you push right on that link. Boom, and you can donate. It's like 2 seconds. Text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. 616-1620.
It's been so fun learning about him. Even when he was a teenager, wasn't he class president?
Yeah, he was class president. He was all-conference in football. And then he had enough confidence in himself that he was also in the school musical. He played the lead in The King and I, Yul Brynner's role.
Yeah.
He played that. So he wasn't just a big jock. He was like all-around popular, great guy, and then decided that he wanted to fly jets. So he went off to the Air Force Academy and never made it home.
It was at Bayview High School. And, you think about these things when the Air Force came and gave the bad news. I'm thinking, maybe this is someone in Kansas or in Illinois. No, this is a Bayview soldier and family that are trying to make this right.
You're right. And they walked up that sidewalk in Bayview and had to give that news. And then he was awarded the Medal of Honor, the highest honor. So now we need to honor his legacy by taking care of that airplane. Text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. Coming up a little later on, the code of conduct is where military guys refuse to give up any information to the enemy. Lance Sijon did this like no one else ever has. That part of the story coming up a little bit later on. How about some news about your money? A mixed day on the markets today. They kind of held steady, not a lot of movement. The NASDAQ was up 35 points. The Dow was down 75. The S&P was off 7 points. Kind of waiting for the official news on the Fed. That will come tomorrow. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. It's your knee that's bugging you, right? Or is it your back? For some of us, it's the hips. Achy joints with pain you can't get over. Well, there is a way to fix it. There is a way to get lasting pain relief using your own body's healing properties. It's all thanks to QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. QC Kinetics can help enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing all the fun things you like to do without pain. No surgery, no painkillers, and no downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using cellular therapies. If you want to learn more, the consultations are free. You can set up an appointment at QC Kinetics. They have clinics in Mequon and in Greenfield. Here's the number, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call now and get lasting joint pain relief with the help from QC Kinetics. 414-285-3474.
It's time for a Wisconsin Farmers Union Minute. Dairy farmers in Wisconsin and across the nation have experienced boom and bust price cycles for decades, triggered by an imbalance between supply and demand. When milk prices are high, farmers increase production to meet the demand. However, when prices are low, dairy farmers also increase production to help their bottom line, unintentionally flooding the market and driving prices down further. The wild price swings that result make it difficult to manage a business. But there is a better way. The Dairy Revitalization Plan is a growth management strategy that coordinates milk production growth among all dairy producers to stabilize and improve prices for everyone. Unlike quota, which is often viewed as overly restrictive, growth management offers a series of incentives and disincentives to better align milk production growth with demand growth. The Dairy Together Coalition of Farmers, Farm Groups, and dairy industry stakeholders is pushing this plan to be included in the upcoming Farm Bill. By implementing the Dairy Revitalization Plan, we can ensure that Wisconsin remains America's dairy land for generations to come. Learn more at dairytogether.com.
You're busy. Work, family, life.
Sometimes it's hard to figure out what you'll do about things like retirement planning, selling a business, investing, or building your legacy. So your buddy hooks you up with his guy. Seems fine, but when it gets down to advice, you're all of a sudden knee-deep in products packed with commissions. You start to wonder, are you getting advice or are you getting a sales pitch? Annex Wealth Management is a fee-only fiduciary. No commission products, just advice. And clear thinking when it comes to your investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. Annex believes financial planning is for everyone. Annex Comprehensive Wealth is a great fit for most. For those with high net worth and complex planning challenges, consider Annex Private Client. For those just starting out, Annex Ignite is a great choice. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button. It only takes a couple of minutes. Set your own appointment at a time convenient for you. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management. annexwealth.com.
Restaurant prices are soaring, but not at the Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. One of my favorite places. It's so fun. It's such great value. Family owned for almost 50 years. My daughters love this place. Been going since they were little girls. It's super affordable and so much fun. Every Tuesday, the authentic Mexican buffet is all you can eat in just $9.99. It's the best Tuesday dining value, $9.99. Kids 5 and under eat free today from the kids menu. Then they can safely play in that world-class game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area while you finish up your dinner. Stop after school. It's great fun. The Wednesday 3-piece dine-in fish fry is $4.99. Whoa! That's crazy value. From 2 till 5 today, beers, cocktails, and appetizers are half price. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and just off Highway 41 in Oshkosh near the EAA. Walk in today for the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for under $10. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Richlands Tire and Service Center.
Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlands.com when you're due for service.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, a post by Elon Musk capturing the attention of the Secret Service.
I'm Julia Fellows, staying on the ballot this November.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, still dealing with a broken down vehicle westbound 94 for right about St. Paul Avenue. The left lane is closed with this, so that's backing things up through the Marquette interchange. We've also got a broken down vehicle, Highway 164 southbound right at I-94. That one's got the right lane blocked of southbound 164, so watch out for that. Southbound 41, heavy from before Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol. And eastbound 94 from about 84th Street to Hawley Roads, where you're seeing those delays. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, mostly clear, patchy fog possible at the lake, 60, inland 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. You get to see the sun inland. Wow, 86 degrees. At the lake, 80 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the Secret Service says it is aware of Elon Musk's recent post. Musk posting on his social media platform, "No one is even trying to assassinate Biden and Harris." Political commentator Chris Cizilla reports.
When you have 197 million Twitter or X followers and you own the platform, you got to be real careful when you're talking about political assassination in general. You really have to watch your words.
Musk later deleted the post and claimed it was intended as a joke.
COVID cases are going up.
COVID-19 cases in Wisconsin are at high levels of activity, and the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, citing data from the CDC, says nearly half of all states are reporting very high levels in wastewater. That's how the CDC monitors the virus. Hospitalizations in Wisconsin have been increasing since the spring at about 200 patients, but the current levels of the virus still much lower than during the height of the pandemic. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
SWAT teams end a standoff in Green Bay. The Green Bay Police Department eventually arrested a 26-year-old man without incident just before 6 p.m. yesterday. Earlier in the day, witnesses say the suspect made threatening gestures at officers who were trying to talk to neighbors. They were reporting suspicious issues with the suspect. As officers tried to arrest him, he barricaded himself inside his residence and refused to follow police orders. SWAT teams eventually forced themselves into the home to make the arrest. Charges are pending.
East Elementary School in Jefferson is closed today because of an overnight fire. Fire officials say it started in the generator room of that basement.
Tensions remain high concerning a controversial Milwaukee mural that has already been vandalized twice.
The mural on the border of the city's Harambe and River West neighborhoods depicted a swastika blended with a Jewish Star of David. His son Atta commissioned the mural and says he has a proposal for the Milwaukee Common Council, who condemned the mural last week.
I did offer them an option of removal if they truly believe in justice for all.
Meanwhile, Matt Stolzenberg, owner of Black Dawn Tattoo next door, tells TMJ4 News he's moving his business out due to the tension surrounding the mural.
Ground zero for political war right now. That's just not a place where you can comfortably tattoo people.
Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Atta says a new mural is currently being commissioned for the site. It's not clear what the design of that new mural will be.
For the first time in more than 60 years, Miss Wisconsin competition has a new home. For next year, the annual beauty pageant will move to New Berlin West Performing Arts Center. The event was always held at Oshkosh West High School since 1963. The 2025 Miss Wisconsin competition takes place June 18th.
The latest buzz around the old Northridge Mall in Milwaukee isn't the demolition, it's the bees.
A unique discovery in an abandoned mall. Thousands of honeybees made their home, their hives, inside Northridge.
We were looking at ways to get into the mall and basically decommission the building, and he found them both at the Yonkers and at the JCPenney entrances.
Ken Balistreri's company is in charge of prep work before the old Milwaukee Mall is demolished. Field Supervisor Nazim Agushi is the man who found the hives.
It's got to be at least 3-4 years old.
Agushi is also the one moving the bees. Their future home, Balistreri's farm.
We have a farm that needs pollination, so let's bring them back.
Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
Have you ever wanted to name a garbage truck? City of Madison launched 2 all-electric collection trucks, and they need a name. The city is looking for playful names to represent Madison's character, wit, and charm. Suggestions could be family-friendly and light, and of course, puns are encouraged. You have until October 1st to submit. More details at our website, WTMJ.com.
Time for a WTMJ Law Offices One Call That's All Sports Desk. The magic number is now 2. The Brewers can wrap up the division and a playoff berth with a win tonight over the Phillies and a Cubs loss to the Oakland A's. Coverage of tonight's game begins after the 6 o'clock news right here on WTMJ. And Packers head coach Matt LaFleur says Jordan Love will need to practice at some point this week in order to play Sunday against the Titans.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:36.
This report is sponsored by Connect Chiropractic, connecting you to true health. Located in Wauwatosa and Delafield.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Add a chiropractic screening to your kid's back-to-school checklist. Reed came to Connect Chiro at just 9 years old. Sleep issues, headaches, getting sick all the time. I talked with his mom. He's now getting better sleep, better attendance at school, better health since she put her son in the care of Dr. Alex Young and his team. Great for kids because these docs use a special tool for all the adjustments. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. In Delafield and Wauwatosa, go Connect Chiro. That's goconnectchiro.com.
It's the last home stand of the Brewers regular season. Be here when the Crew take on the Mets, September 27th through the 29th. Get to the jam-packed series for Fan Appreciation Weekend. Get your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Sean Diddy Combs hit with sex trafficking, racketeering charges, and a sprawling indictment. This is really chilling stuff. ABC's Jason Nathanson is with us from Los Angeles. Jason, good afternoon. You know, there's been a lot of chatter about this for a very long time, but the indictment comes down today. What do we know?
Yeah, a lot of very disturbing details in this 14-page indictment alleging that Sean Combs would have these massive sex parties called freak-offs. He would basically import sex workers, men and women, and force others to be a part of these parties that would go on for days, that these parties would go on for so long and people would be drugged and just engage in all kinds of activity that they would need IVs brought in so they could be replenished because these parties were so elaborate and so draining. They detailed all kinds of sexual activity during these parties that was non-consensual. that people were forced into. A lot of this stuff they say that was recorded in order to blackmail people who would speak out against them, and just all kinds of disturbing things in this 14-page indictment. Combs hearing just wrapped up in New York, in which he pleaded not guilty to the 3 charges of sex trafficking and racketeering and other things. The judge held him ordered without bail, so he will not be getting out until the trial starts. He'll be held during the trial, and the judge said that her concern was that this was a crime that allegedly happened behind closed doors, and she's, I guess, worried that he would continue to do this stuff if he were let out. Not that he was necessarily they were worried about him fleeing, which he could do. He has a private plane, although his lawyer says that they're in the middle of selling that plane. But it wasn't a flight risk type thing. The judge seemed to be worried that with the drugs and the sex and all the stuff that would continue to happen if Combs were let out on house arrest.
Yeah, and there was a woman named Cassidy who was a rising star, a singer, and then was boyfriend, girlfriend with him for a long time. And her lawsuit really detailed a lot of it, but it was settled out of court. Now, did those details, now that it's been settled out of court, can that be brought forward in this case? Because she talks about how some of those male prostitutes would do sex acts on her when, according to her lawsuit, while she was incapacitated or on drugs or drugged, she said, and she was really, really hurt after those incidents.
Prosecutors said they have a dozen or so witnesses who are going to testify to a lot of this stuff, so we will hear a lot of the details and see a lot of the details at trial, I'm sure. In court today, they played some of that video, which we've all seen that CNN obtained from 2016 of Cassie being beat up in a hotel hallway by Combs. His lawyers say that, basically what you saw there, the prosecution had said that she was trying to flee one of these freak-off sex parties when that happened. Combs's lawyer says that wasn't the case necessarily, that what you saw there was a relationship deteriorating was what they said, that they were in love, but Mr. Combs wasn't always faithful, and that was a source of great hurt to the victim, but it didn't have to do with any kind of sex parties. And his defense also said, and we're hearing for the first time some of what Combs's defense is going to be. His lawyers had said that what the freak-offs were evidence of consenting adults experiencing intimacy in a way that 2 adults want to be intimate. And we are not all better off if the federal government comes into our bedrooms. So they're saying that this is basically an invasion of privacy, and this was all about adults doing consenting things.
I was just going to ask you that, but I've heard that there were some underage people possibly, and that this was not to their consent because they were drugged. Was that brought up?
The drugging, yes. Underage stuff, not in the indictment. We don't know if they just weren't able to make that case or if that's going to come out maybe later in the court, but as of right now, that's not part of these charges.
How many victims are there? Because I've heard of some that were off the record in other cases, but are there just named victim A, B, C, or there are actual names of well-known people in this lawsuit?
No, there are no names in the lawsuit. Some of the victims are referred to by number, and there's no specific number of victims so far, but there are no names. And these in addition to these quote-unquote freak-off parties, there were other parties at Combs' various homes in the Hamptons. He's well known for having a famous white party every year, huge celebrity names all over the place. It's not clear if some of those names were involved in these sex parties or not, if they will be part of charges or not, or if their names will be out there or not. But it was well known in the industry that Combs was not somebody that you wanted to mess with. And part of the allegations here that he would have these, this stuff videotaped in order to blackmail people if they got out of line. And think about it. This has been the allegations are that these started somewhere, or it goes back to, they have evidence of 2008. So if this has been happening for 16 years and we're basically just hearing about it and charges are just coming now in 2024, if he was doing that kind of blackmail stuff, it apparently was working.
ABC's Jason Nathanson. Thank you, Jason.
Sure thing.
Major Garrett, CBS's Chief Washington correspondent, up next.
The Political Power Hour with Steve Scafidi.
You can say things that you believe, maybe, or that you are told to believe by your political parties or other partisan agents. But it's also the job of elected officials and local leaders and thought leaders, of which you two are both in that category, to sort of lay out the facts. Just because you say things doesn't mean they deserve more attention, doesn't mean they deserve to be listened to.
Weekdays from 9 to 10 on WTMJ.
Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. I've got it in my house, and I've never been happier with our water situation. Friendly, convenient, budget-conscious conditioning systems. It's Guthrie and Fry all the way. Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. I've got their water softener. The guy brings the salt right into the house. My water in my shower is absolutely perfect. My reverse osmosis system means that the water we drink, and we drink a lot of water, is crisp, clean, clear. I think the dogs even like this water better. It's quality products and services at a fair price from a local company that you can trust. It's Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie and Fry. Southeast Wisconsin's #1 choice is Guthrie and Fry.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Arbor Point Advisors, LLC, APA. Osaic Wealth and APA are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and APA.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Flanner's Home Entertainment. Does the audio and video system in your home need an upgrade? Well, Flanner's has all the solutions and the installation experts to simplify and upgrade your home entertainment experience. Forget about the impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases. You go with locally owned Flanner's, where quality service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities. Stop by Flanner's in West Dallas, Grafton, or at Flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Any exterior remodeling company can give you a lot of good reasons to get a new roof, siding, windows and doors, or masonry work. Aesthetic appeal alone or just resale value help it all make sense. But I'm compelled to continue to tell you what sets Semper Fi apart from the rest. What you're going to get from Semper Fi is a reputation that is backed by an undeniable stack of proof that we are who we say we are. Our character is guided by a level of trust and accountability which not only holds our teams together, but also keeps our reputation intact. And ultimately, that means leaving you satisfied. So when you're about to make that big investment in your home, isn't that what you want? This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Rejuvenix.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Traffic and weather. Let's get you where you need to safely with Debbie Lazaga. Hey, Deb.
Hey there. Okay, the issue on 94 westbound at 25th Street or St. Paul Avenue, that broken down vehicle that had the left lane blocked, that has been taken care of. Unfortunately, we do have delays right out of the Marquette all the way to Hawley Road. On Highway 164 southbound right at I-94, the right lane is blocked with another disabled vehicle. On the eastbound side of 94, we are seeing a bit of a backup through that construction zone from just east of Highway G all the way into about Highway 16. And then more delays from 76th Street through the Stadium interchange to about 35th Street. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight. Patchy fog at the lake at 60, inland 53. Wednesday, mostly sunny. You can see the sun Really warm inland, 86 degrees. At the lake, 80 degrees. Thursday, pick day, so nice, 82 degrees, mostly sunny. Friday, a slight rain chance. That's a change in the weather from yesterday. 83 degrees, so you have that chance. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 80 degrees.
Major Garrett is CBS's chief Washington correspondent. The Takeout Podcast is heard here on WTMJ. It's good conversation, good food. It's always a whole lot of fun. His books are The Big Truth and Mr. Trump's Wild Ride. Agent, thank you so... Agent, I just called you. That's his other podcast.
Agent Garrett.
Agent of Betrayal is Major's other podcast. See, it was meant to be that I was supposed to say that.
Yes.
Major, good afternoon. Thanks for being with us.
It's great to be with you. How is everybody?
Everybody's good. Wanted to get your take on the latest assassination attempt. When you heard what had happened and you heard some of the detail, guy hiding in a bush, a rifle, Secret Service a hole before, thank goodness that they were paying attention, actually. What goes through your mind when you think about the state of politics and the state of our country and the two of them merging?
Wow, that's a big question. Let me just share with the audience my awareness and understanding of the public access road, meaning the place in which the public transits near Trump International Golf Course close to Mar-a-Lago. When former President Trump was elected and we started to cover him from Mar-a-Lago, journalists like myself went to that fence line to see if it would ever be possible to use a television camera to take pictures of him playing golf.
As you do with a lot of, a lot of presidents, you get them. Mm-hmm.
Right, for purposes of capturing the president playing golf when he's doing that, maybe seeing who he's with, who he's golfing with. It's always an interesting thing. Historians pore over that. It's good to know who the president's spending either leisure or semi-leisure or non-leisure time at all. I remember being with former President Clinton on an overseas trip. He played a round of golf and secured a free trade deal while playing golf, so it can sometimes be a work thing. And it was pointed out back then to then President Trump, this is a publicly accessible space, and it's hard to have Secret Service everywhere there, and this potentially in the future could pose a risk, because if someone with a television camera can sort of wedge their way inside the hedges there, maybe somebody who has ill intent could do the same thing. So I have actual experience going up along that area. I will tell you, when I did that, sometimes I went undetected with my producer. Many times we did not go undetected. Either local or Secret Service said, "Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here." We're like, "Okay, we're just trying to get a shot, see if we can see the president." No problem. They saw our press credentials, so on and so forth. My only point about that is a hard place to universally and perpetually secure. It creates a lot of problems, manpower and otherwise, for the Secret Service and local law enforcement. And it's always been a complication for President Trump because some people think Mar-a-Lago and the golf course are one thing. They're not. They're separate things separated by a short drive. That's just the tactical eyes on what this place is like. I hope that's of some use to the listeners.
It's fascinating.
Oh,
what does it
yes.
all? Yeah. So what does it all mean? I don't know what it all means. There's a guy who's there who had a weapon sufficient to injure the president and others from about 400 yards with a scope. That's all we need to know about the potential lethality of that situation. It's a crime. It's a law enforcement event. We don't know what his motives are. We don't know what his background is other than to say there is some evidence he voted for Trump in 2016, possibly got disillusioned, gave a little bit of money here and there to Democrats, but we don't know if any of that bore on his motives for that day. We just don't know. Lots of people want to assume things about that. I don't know. And until law enforcement goes through enough and produces enough information to make a declaration one way or the other, I think we should hold off. Now we have this other conversation about whose rhetoric is most to blame. And I'm going to make this observation. I'm not trying to both sides this, and I'm not trying to cop out. But I have spent enough time reading about long-running, decades-long conflicts in the Middle East. I spent a long time during the Clinton administration learning about the troubles in Northern Ireland and the aggressive efforts to try to turn the troubles into something calmer. I've read about civil wars, long-running in Central America and South America, and here's the one thing that they all have in common. If nobody forgets a slight, a fault, an action, a rhetorical jab that feels particularly wounding, if no one ever forgets or forgives, everyone has reason to blame the other, and the cycle never ends. And my observation about that is that's where I feel we are in America. Nobody forgets, nobody forgives, and everyone is willing to blame the other instantly for something that might not have in the moment all the evidence behind it to reach a rational conclusion. But a political blame game can begin almost instantly. And that's what happens in societies that do not forgive, do not forget, and do not look to find commonality or common purpose for that society. That's my biggest concern right now.
This sort of takes us into something that Elon Musk says he was joking about and then deleted the tweet on X saying, why isn't anyone going after...
No one is even trying to assassinate President Joe Biden or Vice President Kamala Harris. What do you make of that?
I mean, there's a reason he deleted it. It is, well, let's just think about it this way. What do you think would be happening either in your home or your workplace if either of you had written that? Or if I had written that?
I'd be gone.
What do you think would have happened? You would have been questioned by the Secret Service or local law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Almost immediately, and deservedly so, okay? Because, I'm sorry, what is the sign that we see when we go through security at the airport? No joking about bombs, right? No joking. These are not jokes. We don't treat them as jokes because this is too serious. And I'm sorry. We're several weeks away from a very big, important election. I don't want to say this is a non-humor zone, but we don't joke or make light of or ask rhetorical questions about assassinations of anyone under any circumstance. And Elon Musk has a sort of place where he thinks he's secure from things that would, to any other American, instantaneously bring you under the scrutiny of either federal or local law enforcement. He's got a security clearance. He's got billions in federal contracts. He must feel like immune from all this. I wish he weren't. I wish someone would say, what are you talking about? You can't do that. You can't just wonder aloud in this atmosphere. And look, I don't want anything bad to happen to former President Trump. I am enraged that two bad things almost happened. And remember, one American was killed in Butler, Pennsylvania. Two were wounded. We already have victims in our country during this election. We have a family shattered at Butler, Pennsylvania. Lost their father and their husband. Let's all look into this place and say, can't we do better? Can't we be better? Can't we, if not forget, at least try to find some way to not assume the worst about each other and understand that when this election is over, America will still be here. And the country we love will need to chart its future. And all of us are going to be a part of that story.
Yes. One shout out to you, Major. You were right spot on. David Muir did ask about admitting during the debate about him saying that he admitted that he lost and lost by a whisker.
Yes.
Gold Star Award. You got that.
Nailed it.
I was like, Major.
That's what we were both screaming at our TVs that night. Major Garrett, that's right.
Wait, what did you call him? Captain Major? What was it again?
Oh no, he should be Major General. Major General Garrett.
Yeah.
Major General, yes, Major General.
All right.
Major Garrett, CBS's Chief Washington Correspondent. We always appreciate you making some time for us. Thank you, Major.
Always a pleasure. We'll talk next week.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
The Pleasant Prairie Plan Commission approves final site and operational plans for Uline Incorporated's fourth headquarters building in the village. Uline can now move ahead with full construction of the project, which it expects to complete in the spring of 2026. Miller High Life Light returns for retail sale 3 years after it was pulled from store shelves. Molson Coors Beverage Company said it is responding to calls for the beer's comeback from a passionate fan base. Construction begins in West Dallas on the state's only Pan-Asia supermarket. The project was expected to be complete in the fall of 2024, but equipment had a longer lead time than the company expected. Its anticipated opening is now scheduled for June of 2025. I'm Linda Spice with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
For over 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has been delighting guests with impeccable service and luxurious accommodations. Celebrate your next special occasion with a stay at the Pfister. Enjoy fine dining at its acclaimed restaurants and pamper yourself with a service from the Well Spa and Salon. Experience the hotel's afternoon tea program or take in live music with the best views of the city from Blue, the 23rd floor cocktail lounge. Make your reservations today at thepfisterhotel.com.
It's Blaine's Farm and Fleet's 69th anniversary, and we're celebrating with exciting rewards offers for our best customers. Shop anniversary celebration savings on Guardian Premium Flake Pine Shavings. Rewards members get 2 for $11. Buy 4 Michelin, BF Goodrich, or Uniroyal tires and get instant service credit savings equal to the price of 1 tire. Plus, get up to a $100 rebate and an extra $40 instant reward savings when you buy 4. See store for details. Come celebrate and save during our anniversary sale, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, they are the real deal, and they've got a great deal going on now. Speaking of deals, check this out. Gina Della's dreamed this one up, and you're the beneficiary. Get as low as $18 per window or $18 per patio door per month. That's what you're going to pay. Right now, you want new windows? It's $18 per window. New patio door, $81 per patio door per month. Shut the Pella front door. That is absolutely nuts. PellaWI.com. You can check it out there at PellaWI.com. I visited their experience center. You're going to love this place. Julie's kind of the one you meet when you walk in there. She's so nice, and she really knows her stuff. She'll walk you around a little bit. And if you get lucky, Gina Della might be there. They've got the best sales teams, and all their product is custom-made. It's custom-made. They'll provide any material, wood, laminate, fiberglass. They've got a window for every home and budget. It's Pella Doors, Pella Windows. It's Pella Window and Doors of Wisconsin. PellaWI.com. They're the real deal. Check them out today. PellaWI.com.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law offices make our community a better place.
They are the best.
For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law offices.
$1 for just $1 over cost. You can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. Available at all 5 Griffin stores. Just $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Traffic and weather is sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield is excited to welcome Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
Time for the Crew to give the Phillies a bit of the brotherly glove.
Line drive towards first. What a play by Hoskins off to the side. Flips it to Peralta for the out at first.
Our coverage of the game at American Family Field begins tonight at 6 with Brewers warm-up. We are your home for the Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 4:01. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, no criminal charges in the case of a rollover bus crash.
I'm Julia Fellow. An iconic beauty pageant moving.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we've got some delays along eastbound 94 from before Highway G all the way to Highway 16. That is a construction zone. And then again from 76th Street all the way through the stadium. The westbound side heavy from about 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 43, watch for backups from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. The northbound side of 43 also backing up a bit through the Marquette up past Fond du Lac Avenue. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear skies, a low of 55. Tomorrow, sunny and beautiful, a high of 78. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Decision Wisconsin, 2 campaign stops in the Badger State this week. Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance will be in Eau Claire coming up here in about 30 minutes. This marks Vance's second trip to Eau Claire and his 5th to Wisconsin. Vice President Kamala Harris is in Madison on Friday. This will be the vice president's 4th visit to Wisconsin.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s name will stand on the November ballot. A Dane County judge ruled on Monday candidates must remain on the ballot unless they die.
The recovery process begins in Random Lake after a rollover bus crash yesterday injured 8 students. Superintendent Mike Trimberger says the district spoke to students today to reassure them of their safety while on the bus.
We're going to do an elementary, a middle, and a high school group session to make sure our students know that this is a safe place, that buses are safe, that even when this happens, we can have good things happen from that.
The driver of a Jeep who struck the bus, Becca Stevenson, has been cited for failing to stop at a stop sign and so far will not face criminal charges.
Tense conversations continue regarding controversial Milwaukee mural depicting a swastika blended with the Jewish Star of David. The mural has been vandalized multiple times, people tearing it down into pieces since it went up last week. Isan Atta owns the building the mural's on and made it, reacted on Monday to the Milwaukee Common Council's condemnation of the mural over the weekend.
They chose to release a statement that not only reflected their ignorance, but one that actually encouraged division and hatred. And then you wonder why we have problems in the city that go unresolved.
Here's the co-chair of Wisconsin's Coalition for Justice.
For our Common Council, we await a press release within 24 hours calling for an end to the genocide of people of color, many with families in this city.
Atta says if the Common Council condemns the war in Gaza, he would consider removing the mural, though a new mural is currently being commissioned for the site.
For the first time in over 6 decades, the Miss Wisconsin competition will have a new home in 2025. The annual beauty pageant will move to the new Berlin West Performing Arts Center. The event has been held at Oshkosh West High School since 1963. The 2025 Miss Wisconsin competition takes place June 18th through the 21st.
Coming up, making fast food even faster.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 4:05.
This report is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. SidingUnlimited.com.
Does your home need a new defensive coach? Is it prepared for the upcoming wind, cold, rain, and snow? I recommend Siding Unlimited. Can wind and cold get through your windows? Siding Unlimited fixes that. Water and snow a challenge for your roof? Siding Unlimited fixes that, too. Is the siding letting the elements through, or just looking offensive? Fixing that is Siding Unlimited's first and continuing specialty. When the weather's offense beats your home's defense, call in Siding Unlimited. They're not only the best, they're now a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Their name says siding, but they're so much more. Whatever the challenge, put Siding Unlimited in. See their stuff, siding, windows, roofing, and decks, on Instagram or at their unique outside-in showroom in Brookfield. They're waiting for you. What are you waiting for? SidingUnlimited.com.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Wisconsin, it's game time. Heiser's touchdown savings are here, and these deals are a total crowd pleaser. Score big with Heiser's 5-star lineup. We have Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Cadillac, and Lincoln. Plus, our service centers and body shops are ready to keep your ride playing at MVP level. With our exclusive Safe and Sound program, you'll hit the road with peace of mind, prepped for all of your fall adventures. So don't drop the ball on these deals. Visit Heiser.com today. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 407.
Chipotle is introducing something very high-tech and futuristic.
The Mexican chain is getting an avocado robot called an Autocado. While it won't be replacing human guacamole makers, it's designed to work alongside them to make the process faster and more streamlined. The machine can be loaded with 25 pounds of avocados at a time. It slices them in half, removes the cores and skin, and dumps them in a bowl, where a team member does the rest. Right now, the Autocado is only in operation at a Huntington Beach, California location, but they have plans to launch more across the country soon. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call. That's all Sports Desk. The Brewers can wrap up the division and a playoff berth with a win tonight over the Phillies and a Cubs loss to the Oakland A's. Brewers manager Pat Murphy.
Hope they keep competing the way that they have, and we'll just keep going and keep our head down. And when good things come our way, we'll just hopefully they'll have to tap us on the shoulder and say, okay, it's over. We just keep our head down and play.
Coverage of tonight's game begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 408.
Sponsored by Grandview Homes. The name you know, the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
Why trust Grandview Homes to buy your home? It's simple. We make the home selling process fast, easy, and stress-free, even if your home is less than perfect. No real estate agents, no repairs, no cleanouts needed. Leave the mess and the stress to us. At Grandview Homes, we live and work in your neighborhoods. Our reputation is built on 15 years treating sellers with the dignity and respect they deserve. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today. Grandview Homes, the fastest and easiest way to sell your home.
Gear up for October baseball. Brewers postseason tickets go on sale on September 20th. Clear your schedule, claim your spot, and be here for a Brewers postseason run you don't want to miss at Brewers.com.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
Hey, coming up in just a few minutes, Homer joins us talking Packers. Green and Gold Insiders coming up in just a couple of minutes. First, Lance Seijon is a Bayview native who died as a prisoner of war after his fighter jet was brought down in Vietnam. Severely injured, he survived on rain in the jungle for 46 days before being captured. Seijon was awarded the Medal of Honor in large part because even as he was tortured, he refused to break the military code of conduct and give his captors any valuable information. In that deep, dark, damp jungle jail, Lance Seijon was beaten relentlessly. His captors wanted the pilot to give them information on air bases, strategy, and fellow pilots.
He wouldn't answer anything else. And so they beat him, and they beat him on his wounds.
Guy Gruters was a POW for 5 years. He was held with Lance and heard Lance being beaten. It still haunts him.
They beat him to death because he would not answer any questions but name, service number, date of birth, name, rank, service number, date of birth.
Charlie Larson was Lance's best friend since kindergarten. He's not surprised by Lance's bravery.
He set quite an example, and that is the reason that he is a Medal of Honor recipient.
Chris Cassidy agrees with Charlie. Cassidy runs the brand new National Medal of Honor Museum.
To stick to that in the face of all that pain and just uncertainty tells you who that guy is. Just rock solid character.
Dan Buttry, the president and CEO of the War Memorial Center, tells me it's critical to honor that character by restoring Seijon's plane at the Milwaukee airport.
Let's help pull this together and give this man the dignity in his memory of just cleaning this up and making it much more presentable, because we owe it not just to the Saijan family, but we owe it to this community because his story represents us. He was born and grew up in Bayview, Wisconsin, just outside of downtown Milwaukee.
He's unbelievable. I don't think there's any man better. I really don't. I don't think there's any better hero that I could ever imagine than Lance Saijan.
Part of Hero Lance Saijan's legacy is that F-4 fighter jet at our airport. It's at Saijan Plaza. It needs to be repainted and repaired. That's going to cost $50,000. Please help restore our hero's plane and legacy. All donations are tax deductible. Text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. That's Lance to 855-616-1620 for more information.
I went there. It looks like it's so well manicured around there.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
It's
loved.
nice.
Created by his sister. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. When I went there, I noticed the peeling of the plane.
The paint. Yeah, it's coming off. We got to take care of that. It's his
Yes.
legacy. We should be respectful. We have to take care of that. It's his legacy. For more information, text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. Lance to 855-616-1620.
Dr. Ken's mind is fine as aged wine, let me tell you.
This is The Truth on WTMJ.
But this presidential election has taken us as American voters to the next level.
With Dr. Ken Harris and Denise Thomas.
That not all of us are actually liberal, not all of us are actually conservative, not all of the three of us are. Like, we have all sorts of different views and points.
Sunday night starting at 7, right here on WTMJ.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Elmbrook Family Dental. Hey, I was just texting with Justine. I've gotten to know everybody out there, and they've gotten to know me very personally. I'm going to be there next week to see Dr. Brunner in their new Wauwatosa location. State of the art, so beautiful at 800 Mayfair Road. It's fantastic. They are accepting new patients right now. It's so convenient, so easy, right in Research Park. They want to make sure that they have the best quality of dentistry. That's what separates them from the rest. 2 convenient locations in Brookfield established, and their beautiful new Wauwatosa location is right there in Research Park, accepting patients right now. Get scheduled. The new patient process is so easy. Everything you need in a one-stop shop. ElmbrookFamilyDental.com. That's ElmbrookFamilyDental.com.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Dan, I love what we do at Inspired Closets.
Can you count the ways?
First of all, we're 100% locally owned, helping families in southeast Wisconsin calm the chaos and eliminate stress. We're not a franchise. And our lifetime warranty and price match guarantee.
Yes, Katie. Milwaukee homeowners have trusted the Anheuser family for 55 years for our commitment to quality, service, and competitive prices.
And we get to work together.
Yeah, that too. Buy local and save money today. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
A wife and husband team.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Lazaga. How we doing out there?
Well, we've got an issue on 894 southbound on the ramp to get onto the Rock Freeway southbound. Off on the left shoulder, we have a crash. So that's just getting into the Hale interchange, and it is stretching back towards National Avenue on the southbound side of 894. Careful with that. Westbound on 94, heavy out of the Marquette all the way past Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's backed up from Highway G to Highway 16, and then from about 84th Street to about Hawley Road, and a little bit coming out of the Stadium interchange as well. We do have some delays along southbound 43 from Hampton down to Capitol, and a little bit right through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Hey, while you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a little patchy fog, a low of 53 inland, good sleeping weather. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, another nice day, a high of 86. On Thursday, continued warm, sunny, a high of 82. Friday, high of 83. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 80 degrees. No rain anywhere in sight. Lots of sunshine. Right now, it's sunny and 77 degrees.
It's time to get caught up on the green and gold.
Let's put it in the air this time. It is through the Willis and a touchdown. Willis threads it through for his first NFL strike and a touchdown.
No one has a better outlook on the team than the man referred to as Homer.
Everybody should be throwing a party. Imagine if the season was over. It'd be 16 weeks of hell. Let's have a party.
It's time to get caught up on the green and gold with today's insider, ESPN Milwaukee's Steve the Homer True.
Homer, good afternoon. What's going on? What are you not happy about?
I said the Packers were not going to win a game with Malik Willis, the quarterback. I don't know if my microphone.
I don't think
Is
it's
his
on.
microphone on?
Here, go over there, Homer.
No, I think it is.
No, I don't.
All right. No, it's not sounding very good. You walk over there. I see that red light
we
on.
want to hear every
We
word
want to
you're
hear
saying.
because Homer started by saying he is not happy. He's not happy. Why are you not happy, Homer?
This is much better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said they're not going to win with Malik Willis. If you would have told me they were going to run the ball 53 times, I would have said they're going to win. The last time they ran the ball that many times was 1978.
Almost 50 years ago.
50 years,
Wow.
yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
So, and if they run 53 times this week, they'll win again.
So why don't we always run 53 times?
By the
then?
way, I'm in for 1,000 for Lance. So you got
what?
Yeah, I'm in for 1,000.
Homer, you are?
As a matter of fact, I
Oh,
will
my
do
gosh.
this, but I don't know that this is not like if you get 9 other people.
Yep.
I'll put up 5 and then it's done.
Whoa.
Oh,
okay.
So you can do it either way.
You heard it here. So he's
Yeah.
in for 1,000, or if we get 9 people that want to
Then
help
I'm number
Lance
10
Sijon,
and it's over.
Yep. Then you go
And it
help
should
us.
be over.
Wait a second.
855-616-1620. 855-616-1620. You text the word Lance.
Wait
Homer,
a
that's
second.
so
What
generous.
do we got to do for him to do 5?
Well, if we get 9 people,
Then if you can find 10 people at $5,000, it's over. You got the 50 grand, and I'll be one of the 10.
Oh.
that's amazing.
But only if you find 9 other people. But otherwise,
you're in for
I'm
$1,000.
automatically in for 1,000.
I know. Aren't you attached? I feel so attached
And just
to
as
this
long
story.
as you make sure to tell everybody I'm cheap. It's very important that everybody thinks I'm cheap. So don't.
No, I think it's
don't
just
argue that
a
point.
wonderful effort, and it takes a lot for this family to put up that plane to begin with.
Yeah.
But now it's got to be taken down and then repainted and put back up. That's why it's costing so much money.
Yeah, Homer,
But it's
thank
for
you.
him.
That's
Fine.
very generous.
All right, so back
Beautiful.
to 53.
Let's talk about more
Yeah.
about how generous you
No,
are.
no.
Okay.
No, I'll take back the 1,000. How mean would that
All right,
be?
let's talk about the run
I had
game
1,000.
then.
No, I changed my
Let's
mind.
talk about the run game.
I'll give you $10.
So
No,
here's my question.
It's historic. This is one of the
Yes.
great games. I mean, it's hard to 50 years ago. Now,
Yeah.
you got to be old like me to remember when they ran the ball like that, but no one does that. They just don't do it.
So here's my question for you, and you kind of raised this a little bit. If they were to do that again against Tennessee,
They'll win again.
So why don't we do that the rest of the year then?
One, because I don't think you can do it that well. They actually didn't even run the ball well in the second half. They did it so well in the first half.
First quarter.
It
was crazy.
But the premise is now, yes, this is what, LaFleur, known as a passing quarter coach, now is the greatest running coach in the history of the Green Bay Packers because when they did it before in the 40s, and that's what everybody did.
Yep.
Now, nobody does it. The only game they can bring up is New England a couple of years did it because the weather was like a hurricane and you couldn't throw the ball. So there's no way for people to understand how incredible this game was in terms of doing that. That you just don't do that, and they did it. And I'm sure they'll attempt to run the ball, having Jacobs help. But Tennessee's going to. Well, the Colts didn't know the Packers were going to run the ball.
They loaded the box.
Yes. Now, they did more as the game went on. But, if they didn't assume the Packers were going to run the ball, then they should fire their defensive coordinator. And as a result, the quarterback, Wills, was great. He was 14 of 16.
Yep.
So what do I expect them to go against Tennessee? Run the ball and say, stop it.
I think the hardest part is being disciplined. To your point, to start out and say you're going to run the ball is one thing. To stay with it, to run 50 times, to keep that commitment and be that patient.
And part of that is, you don't have your quarterback. I mean, you don't really want the quarterback to do too much. He played a perfect game. He did exactly what you wanted. He handed the ball off well. He ran well when he wanted to run, and that's one of his, certainly probably his biggest skill. And then he made a couple good passes, one for the touchdown that had to be perfect, and it was, and then the long pass to Dobbs that they needed, where Dobbs made the play. Wide receivers always say, well, they always say they're great, but hey, with the backup quarterback, just throw it up there. I'll go get it. And that's literally what he did, and that's what Dobbs did. So, yeah, the only people that doesn't believe in the Packers are the odds makers, because they still have Tennessee favored by 2.5, which is, again, about 6 points different from what it was. And I know everybody says, well, do you play Jordan Love? Yes. If he was as close to playing as they're saying last week, then yes, you play him.
Yeah, every W matters. Quickly, what'd you think of how the defense played?
They were good. They make turnovers. Oh, who doesn't like Xavier McKinney? When's the last time it was almost maybe Collins or Butler, like they throw the ball and there's the Packer guy. They throw it right to him. How many times have you seen that happen in the last 10 years?
Not
Never.
many. Yeah.
No. So that means he's in the right spot. He's everything. I mean, that was a huge game for Goody.
Were you screaming? I would love to be a fly on the wall when that happened and to see your expression.
Yeah, because that's what good safeties do. Because you're thinking, why'd you throw the ball right to him? Well, because he didn't think he would be there, or you'd have to ask him. But he's supposed to be able to do that, and he's done that. And Goody brought him in, and just like he brought in Jacobs.
Where do you watch the game? How do you watch the game?
I usually watch the game at home and write down every play.
And you listen to the radio.
Yes, I do listen to the radio.
And then he watches because he gets...
So I can, you get it a little ahead of time.
And you take notes. You take good notes.
I make a note on every play because I assume somebody's going to say something. Rob Demoskiv was talking how there was a time where Willis actually threw 2 passes in a row. And I'm looking up. Yep, here it is. 7 yards,
got
9
it right
yards.
here.
No, I mean, everybody should just be so happy because not only did they win, they did it in a way that no one thought possible. Before the game, he said, all right, here's what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball and they're going to win. There's no way.
Yeah.
And they did it. And they did it well enough. Yeah.
He is Homer. Thank you for the donation, Lance Syjon. We really appreciate it. He's in for 1,000. If we can get a bunch of people to give 5,000, thank you very much. Then he's in for 5,000.
You can move on to your next one.
Homer, thank you so much.
Awesome.
We appreciate it.
Amazing.
It is 4:24 at WTMJ. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Stocks hold steady as the world awaits the Fed decision. The Nasdaq was up 35 points. The Dow today was down 74. The S&P was off 7.5 points on the day. It's Annex Wealth Management. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. Start at AnnexWealth.com. It's Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference with Annex.
Hi, everyone. Jeff Levering here. And when we moved into our home 10 years ago, we knew the time would come to replace our roof. That came sooner than we thought with the storms during the spring. So we called the pros at Ridgetop Exteriors, and they did more than just live up to their motto, trusted, local, and affordable. Within just a few weeks, we had our new roof picked and completed. Their team treated us just like family, and the customer service was a real home run. Give Ridgetop Exteriors a call and book your appointment today to ensure your project gets completed before the next big storm.
I love my dogs. They're like children at home, but a lot like raising children. I found my dogs just didn't always listen so great. I started working with Matt and his teams at Sit Means Sit Dog Training. They're awesome. Matt is absolutely the best. He knows what he's doing. We've had a great experience, even better results. Our dogs are better behaved. As a client, I know the good work that Sit Means Sit does, and I just trust them with Bella and Baxter. You too can have a happy, confident, obedient dog. Contact Sit Means Sit Dog Training today to schedule a free consultation. That's what we did. SitMeansSitWaukesha.com. It's Sit Means Sit Dog Training.
We know how difficult the decision can be to downsize and move from your longtime home. This is Senior Real Estate Specialist Bruce Nemovitz of Bruce's team. We're here to guide you through every step of the way, from downsizing and selling your home to moving to your new lifestyle. With over 35 years of experience, we've helped thousands of folks just like you. Visit brucesteam.com or call 262-242-6177.
Join me for an in-depth exploration of the presidential candidates' economic policies and their potential impact on your financial future. This is going to be a great conversation. Annex CEO Dave Spano, Chief Economist Brian Jacobson, and me will break down complex campaign promises into practical. Well, I'm not going to break anything down, let's be honest with you. I'm going to toss them the questions. They're going to break it down. But it's complex and it's important, and they're going to get you the information you need. Tune in to understand how the upcoming election could shape markets, taxes, and your personal financial strategy. This is really important information. They're going to break down what happens if Harris wins, what happens if Trump wins. This is the deal. It's a webinar Thursday, September 26th, so a week from this Thursday, 11 a.m. Visit the Annex Wealth Management webinar page at WTMJ.com. That's how you register. It's Thursday, September 26th at 11. This is a great conversation. Check out the Annex Wealth Management webinar page at WTMJ.com.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever. Overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Jen Latta here from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I have told you about the delicious pizza you can find at Proof Pizza inside St. Kate. Now there's even more to be excited about with new sandwiches on the menu. Available every day from 11 to 4, you can enjoy options like the turkey pesto, the meatball hero, the Italian hoagie, and more. Skip the same old lunch at your desk and grab a delicious sandwich from Proof instead. Order inside the restaurant or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the new sandwiches and the rest of the menu at proofpizzamke.com.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanders Home Entertainment, Flanders.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanders Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanders, just press play.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:31. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: a musical mogul is denied bail.
I'm Julia Fellow, making Instagram safer for your children.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. We do have an accident on the ramp from 894 southbound to the Rock Freeway southbound. It's off on the left shoulder through the Hale interchange, so just be extra careful. It is going to be backed up in pockets pretty much from Greenfield Avenue all the way down to the Hale. Eastbound 894 also backing up out of the Hale interchange to Forest Home. Westbound 94, heavy ride through the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. On the eastbound side, got backups through the construction zone from Highway G to Highway 16. And you're back on the brakes from just before Springdale Road all the way to Brookfield Road. And then again from about 84th Street to Hawley Road. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be clear. Some patchy fog is possible. A low of 60 at the lake, 55 inland. Tomorrow, sunny and gorgeous, a high of 78 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a judge denied bail for music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, remanding him to custody pending trial on federal charges. News Nation's Caitlin Becker.
His defense team during the bail hearing referenced the kids and the family, saying, he is a family here. He is family support. He is not someone who's going to run. But that apparently just was not enough for the judge. And I will tell you, the incident with Cassie Ventura and their relationship became a massive sticking point in this bail hearing. Both sides really argued quite a bit about it. The prosecutor saying that it was his relationship with Cassie in part was one of these instances of sex trafficking where they said they brought other people into the relationship sexually and that those people they accused Diddy of trafficking.
Combs was arrested Monday in Manhattan and is facing federal charges of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution.
New safety settings and more changes coming to Instagram accounts that belong to minors. News Nation's Nick Smith.
These accounts will have limits to the content they see and the accounts they can reach them. And anyone under the age of 16 will need a parent's permission to change the settings on the app. The rollout goes into effect today for new accounts, and underage users will see their existing accounts roll over within the next 2 months.
Instagram will also give parents more options on overseeing their child's accounts.
SWAT teams have ended a standoff in Green Bay. The Green Bay Police Department eventually arresting a 26-year-old man without incident. Earlier in the day yesterday, witnesses say he made threatening gestures at officers who were trying to talk to neighbors who wanted to complain about the suspect. As officers tried to arrest him, he barricaded himself inside his residence and refused to follow police orders. He was taken into custody and no one was injured.
A mother, one of the teens accused of attacking 3 men in an alley in Milwaukee's Walker's Point neighborhood last week, is speaking out against her son's actions. TMJ4's Megan Lee.
Nobody want to see that kid in jail. But if you do the crime, you got to do the time.
Primrose Hibbler isn't dismissing her 14-year-old son's actions. Is the video disturbing to you?
All of it is disturbing to me.
Her son, who we aren't naming, is one of 4 juveniles charged in the brutal beating that happened just blocks away from Bradley Tech High School in an alley last week.
All those kids know better. You 14, 15, 16, you know better.
Hibbler's son is charged with 1 count of physical abuse of an elder person and will appear in court tomorrow.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Magic numbers now 2. The Brewers can wrap up the division and a playoff berth with a win tonight over the Phillies and a Cubs loss to the A's. Coverage of tonight's game begins after the 6 o'clock news right here on WTMJ. And Packers head coach Matt LaFleur says Jordan Love will need to practice at some point this week in order to play Sunday against the Tennessee Titans.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 4:35.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Jeff Levering here asking the question, what does baseball have in common with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Manufacturing. Pella manufactures all their own products. Baseball teams have a similar homegrown strategy by developing its own players in the minors. Testing. Pella tests every product thousands upon thousands of times to ensure it stands the test of time. The ultimate test for baseball players to get called up to the big leagues, hoping to play well enough to stay. Pella is also the window and door equivalent of hitting for the cycle. Quality craftsmanship and innovative design are built into every Pella product for timeless beauty and performance. And now, Gina Della from Pella is here to call the big finale.
Thanks, Jeff.
Pella windows and doors are best in class, not only from the endless styles, but for the features you can't see. And now for something you almost can't believe. Get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Hurry, the deal lasts only until September 30th, so visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
So remember when that submersible going down to see the Titanic imploded, and it was a terrible situation, obviously. A bunch of people died. Well, there are new details being released as the Coast Guard looks into that implosion of the Titan submersible. ABC's Alex Stone is with us from Los Angeles. He's been following the hearing. Good afternoon, Alex.
Hey there, John. Yeah, it's over 2 days now, and this is going to go 2 weeks. The common theme is that engineers who worked for OceanGate say that they did not believe the Titan was safe to head down to the Titanic, and the tests had not been done appropriately, and that they said when they would challenge the founder, Stockton Rush, who died when it imploded, that he would get angry. One said he got fired because of it. But one former executive saying he had no confidence in how Titan was being built, that engineers were children coming straight out of universities. Some had not yet gone to college. Tony Nissen is a former OceanGate engineer. He testified he's one who got fired.
Did you feel a sense of urgency or being rushed to get to operationals, to start operations? Was there pressure?
100%. 100%. He said that there were pressure to get it going, was pressure, and the hearing going to go on, but the Coast Guard is trying to piece together what went wrong. They revealed in this that they were using text messages to communicate between Titan and the support ship called Polar Prince. One of the last messages 2 miles down was all good here. Then about a half an hour later, they texted back up that they were dropping weights. That was a sign that they were trying to get back up for some reason, but nobody knew why in that moment, dropping the weights to get it to float up. Then the Titan disappeared. And former employees have said they had serious concerns as it was being built, that they did not feel it was safe to go. And they talked about Stockton Rush, that he was determined to make it work on schedule and for cheap, saying this.
Stockton and my relationship started to turn sour as everything was built. He wanted me to be the pilot that runs the Titanic missions. And I told him I'm not getting in it.
The hearing revealed they had over 100 equipment issues in the past several years before the implosion. That the Titan was left outside in the Canadian cold for 7 months. It even sank partially in a storm 4 weeks before the doomed trip. And then that they had not done the pressure testing that is an industry standard to know that it was going to be able to sustain the intense pressure 2.5 miles down. So the engineers and the other executives testifying, they are saying this was inevitable. They knew something like this was going to go on. They knew something was going to go wrong, but that Stockton Rush was determined to move forward, and he did to his death.
Wait, so it sank? They said that?
Yeah, so that there was a bad storm, according to the executives and the engineers, that there was a storm on board, that they got sloshed around and it filled with water, and it partially sank, and that they emptied it out and kept going.
Oh, my gosh. Do we know anything, Alex, about those last moments? Did they know that they were doomed?
That's in a lawsuit, Alex. Yeah, they said that they could hear the cracking and everything like that. Was that mentioned?
Yeah, so, I mean, nobody really knows because nobody is alive who is down there. They're going based on what science would indicate, but we will never know what their last moments were like. But one of the engineers testified today that when carbon fiber is about to split open, that you are going to get a loud singing noise that sounds like somebody is screaming at you. So maybe that's what they were getting in those moments as they were texting, they were dropping weights. But we'll never know. They didn't have radio communication. This was about sending brief text messages up, and the only message they got was that they were all fine, and then they were dropping weight. So science would indicate that something like this carbon fiber, which should have never been used in this ship, but that Stockton Rush had determined was the future of what they were going to do, that would have made a horrible noise before they all died.
Wow, and I'm no submersible expert.
Yes, you are.
But I do know a little bit about boats, and you shouldn't leave it out in the cold for months. How many months was it left out in the cold, and why, Alex, did they say?
Yeah, so 7 months, because they were designing and building, and it was just where they left it, apparently, as they were dealing with other things and then working on it, and especially when it is carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is relatively delicate in the way that it needs to be handled and taken care of. That's something that airlines or airplane manufacturers have had to deal with as they are now building newer versions of aircraft out of carbon fiber. Of what are the limits of it? How do you handle it? How many times can it be pressurized and depressurized? And those in the submersible world, they say with the pressure that you get at 2.5 miles down, the carbon fiber just cannot withstand that. But again, Stockton Rush said yes, this was the future. He saw himself as a maverick, saying, we've got to break the rules, pay no attention to the rules. Breaking the rules is what killed all 5 on board, and that it broke apart. And the industry standard is steel, a steel hull. He said no, that this was the way they were going to do it. And carbon fibers are little strands that eventually, like a rug ripping apart, it's going to give way.
Oh, wow.
ABC's Alex Stone in Los Angeles. Thank you, Alex.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Up next, our friend Dr. John Raymond, the guy in charge of the Medical College of Wisconsin, is with us live in the studio talking about new hope and new medicine for those suffering from sleep apnea. That's up next.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Hey, John Mercure here. As the leaves start to turn and the air gets crisp, it's the perfect time to think about your outdoor space. Landworks Wisconsin. They take care of our yard, from stunning fall displays and holiday decorating to dormant pruning and bed cleanups. I've got dormant pruning scheduled with Landworks. They're going to come out. I always never know, when do you trim the stuff? When do you prune it? When is a safe time or a good time? Well, it's deep in the fall, and they know how to do it. Landworks Wisconsin. Get it on your schedule today. The beauty of fall is all around us. Your garden should be no exception. Enhance your outdoor space with pro services from Landworks. Big project, small project, they'll do your project. They did our project, and it is magnificent. It's stunning. They do commercial, they do residential, and they do it the right way. It's Landworks Wisconsin.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. That mission extends beyond their customers and communities to their employees. Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 15 years in a row. In fact, they were named the #1 midsize employer in the region and earned special recognition for the company's overall direction. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Traffic is sponsored by the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The successful Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring positive, professional servers, bartenders, and pizza cooks. You'll make real cash. Inquire today and start next week. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
Traffic and weather. Let's go look at roads with Debbie Lazaga. Hey, Deb.
Hey there, Julia. We've got, an issue on eastbound 94 right about at 68th Street. It's off on the left shoulder, and it is a busted-up vehicle. So just want to be extra careful if you're heading through there. We are seeing delays coming out of the zoo interchange to that point, so keep that in mind. On the westbound side, we've got westbound delayed from the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, back on the brakes from Highway 100, all the way to about Moreland Road. We've also got southbound 41 backing up from just before Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive, with the northbound side slowing down from around North Avenue all the way up past Burleigh. Southbound 43, watch for backups from Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive, and then from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Really doesn't let up until you get past the KK River. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be mostly clear. Some patchy fog, a low of 60 at the lake, 53 inland. Tomorrow, really nice, mostly sunny. Inland, 86. At the lake, 80. Thursday, mostly sunny again, 82. Friday, partly cloudy, a slight chance of rain, 83 will be your high. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 80 degrees.
Dr. John Raymond is the president and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin, and he's back with us in the studio. We missed you. It's good to have you back, Dr. Raymond.
Yes.
I missed you too, John and Julie. It's great to be here in Wisconsin's Afternoon News with you.
So, primary reason you weren't here, especially a couple of weeks ago, was because of your work at the Zablocki VA. I give you so much credit. Thank you for giving your time. A lot of guys in your position don't do active rotations, but you do. Why is it important that you do work at the VA every year?
Yeah, thanks, John. First of all, it's just a small way of giving back to the veterans for what they've given to us. And second of all, the VA's been wonderful to me during my entire career. This is my 43rd year of being a VA doctor.
Wow.
I was an intern, resident, nephrology fellow, faculty member at the VA. They supported me early in my career with grants. I was able to learn administration by running a dialysis unit. I'm just so grateful to the VA and to the vets. What people may not know is there's been a long-term affiliation between academic medical centers, medical schools, and the VA that started right after World War II in 1946. And it's been beneficial both to the veterans and the VA, obviously, but also to the academic medical centers. It's just a beautiful partnership. And when I go on service, it makes me really reconnect with my roots as a doctor. It shows the faculty that I'm there with them. And it gives me the chance to interact with our learners. So.
What do you do? Like, what is the rotation like? Take us inside a random Tuesday or a Wednesday when you're doing this.
So I'm a kidney doctor.
Yep.
So we have 3 shifts in the dialysis unit. I'm responsible for many of those patients. If there's a consultation about high blood pressure, kidney failure, kidney stones, we'll go see those patients, do clinics. We even do electronic consults up from Iron Mountain where we do a chart review and give some recommendations. So really great. In the morning, we see the patients, we talk about their diseases and treatments, and we do a lot of learning and interacting with the vets.
Do you have to stay certified, or do you have to do something to be able to actively do this that's different than if you were just the academic leader at MCW?
Sure. I have an active medical license in 3 different states. Wisconsin's one of them. And I have board certification for life. So I'm board certified in internal medicine and in nephrology. But, you have to do your continuing education to stay sharp.
Oh, I think that's so important, especially the kidney, because that affects a lot of different things, like a lot of different diseases. Your kidneys get affected by that. So I think that's super important. That's wonderful.
It does. Nephrology is just really a wonderful specialty. Mm-hmm. And I do want to give a shout out to the team at the Zablocki VA Medical Center. The Zablocki VA is one of the best VAs in the country in terms of access and the quality of patient care that's given there. Really just have an amazing staff that really care about the vets.
So you were in South Carolina for a long time, so I assume your license is in South Carolina, right? What's the third state?
Yeah. I want to know.
North Carolina. I was at Duke early in my career, and then Medical University of South Carolina.
So if you're ever in the Carolinas and you're not feeling good, Dr. Raymond can take care of us.
I'm going to give you a call.
28 years in the Carolinas.
That's fantastic. I love that part of the country.
How did you move? Wow,
Yeah.
I would love to
He probably
live
asked
there.
himself that in February.
Listen, I love it here. We're right next to the Great Lakes, and because I grew up in Ohio, this felt like coming back home.
Oh, that's nice.
I love it too. A couple of topics we want to talk about here that are very important. New hypertension guidelines. What is that all about?
Yeah, we recognize that high blood pressure is not an either-or illness, that blood pressure risk is along a spectrum or a continuum. And so earlier this year, based on data from a clinical trial called SPRINT, which is systolic blood pressure intervention trial. The American Heart Association and the American College of Cardiology together publish new guidelines. So they're defining stages of hypertension. So stage 1 is a reading over 130/80.
Okay.
Systolic is when your heart squeezes, that's the bigger number. When your heart relaxes, that's diastolic, that's the lower number. So stage 1 hypertension, 130/80.
Okay.
Stage 2 is higher than 140/90. And then if you get really high, like 180/120, that's called a hypertensive crisis or hypertensive emergency, requires pretty prompt intervention. What's really interesting is they have redefined people with what previously was called prehypertension or just normotension, with 120/80 or above as elevated blood pressure. What's interesting about that is it does recognize there's a spectrum of risk with high blood pressure, but it also raises questions about the appropriateness of treatment of those people that aren't in stage 1 hypertension, but they have elevated blood pressure, and even some life insurance ramifications for actuarial risk that haven't been defined yet.
Can you feel it when you have high blood pressure? Is that something you can sense or feel? I mean, not you, but a person. Can they tell?
Yeah, mostly no. That's why it's called the silent killer still. But if you're having end organ damage like strain on your heart, you may have shortness of breath or chest pains. A headache, a severe headache could be a sign also that you've got severe high blood pressure. But generally, you don't feel symptoms.
Yeah, I mean, the highest that you're talking about could be stroke level, you know?
Absolutely could be stroke level.
Let's talk about sleep apnea. Obstructive sleep apnea impacts a lot of people. Is there a new option for folks to deal with this?
There is. And so I want to make sure people know what obstructive sleep apnea is. It's a condition that causes people to stop breathing during sleep. That's what's called apnea. And it's due to either redundant tissue in the throat, blocking your airway when you're breathing in, or collapse of that airway. And it's generally associated with people that may be overweight, but not necessarily. This is associated with many chronic conditions: hypertension, obesity, heart disease, dementia, kidney failure, all associated with and maybe made worse by the sleep apnea. The treatments so far are mechanical. In other words, you have assist with breathing called positive pressure interventions. BiPAP or CPAP are the normal ones. Kind of hard to comply with, uncomfortable, not really optimal. There is a new medication treatment that is showing incredible promise, and this is a dual-action GLP-1 receptor agonist. We've talked about those before, but it also has actions on what's called the gastric inhibitory polypeptide receptor. So it's a dual GLP-1 GIP agonist. Is that weight loss thing? Yeah, it's Ozempic.
Okay, there you go.
And others like that. I'm sorry about I'm getting technical there. But anyway, there was a trial called Surmount OSA where they showed that a GLP-1 GIP agonist called Zepbound really lowered the incidence of breathing stoppages during the night, lowered weight, lowered blood pressure, and improved the general quality of life for people that took it for a year. So if you could take a pill instead of having to take BiPAP or CPAP, that would be a huge improvement. Not FDA approved yet for that indication, but I'm guessing that with another confirmatory trial, it'll be fast-tracked for that indication.
Where are we in the process? Confirm again. This is very exciting news for a lot of people.
Preliminary trial, but a big one with clear results.
So that's really remarkable. I know
really
several people that use the CPAP machine, and they don't like it. Their spouse doesn't always like it. This could be a real game changer for people.
Most of the people in my family have sleep apnea. I don't.
Yeah, I should get tested for it, to be honest with you. I've always wondered if I
Well, listen, if you have a roof-rattling snore or your spouse sees you stop breathing during the night, you should be tested.
Yeah, okay. Well, I do snore, but this is great news. That's very, very exciting.
We need
news.
also the good news of the week.
Yes.
Listen, the good news of the week, I'm just going to say, this is September. It's Women in Medicine Month. People may not be aware of it, but in 2017, it was the first year that there were more women matriculating to MD granting medical schools in the U.S. than men.
Wow.
That trend has only continued. Right now, 55.4% of the first-year students in the U.S. in MD granting medical schools are women. And of the total enrollment, it's almost 55%.
Holy cow.
And I have to tell you, women make great doctors.
That's fantastic. That really is good news. Dr. John Raymond is the president and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin. Thank you for being with us in the studio, Dr. Raymond.
Thanks, John and Julia. Great to be back.
456 at WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Construction begins in West Dallas on the state's only Pan-Asia supermarket. The project was expected to be complete in the fall of 2024, but equipment had a longer lead time than the company expected. Its anticipated opening is now scheduled for June of 2025. The Pleasant Prairie Plan Commission approves final site and operational plans for Uline Incorporated's fourth headquarters building in the village. Uline can now move ahead with full construction of the project, which is expected to be completed in the spring of 2026. Miller High Life Light returns for retail sale 3 years after it was pulled from store shelves. Molson Coors Beverage Company said it is responding to calls for the beer's comeback from a passionate fan base. I'm Linda Spice with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com. On News Radio, WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Business news sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
The Pfister Hotel is pleased to announce that it has entered Phase 3 of its extensive renovation plan. After the full revitalization of the hotel's event spaces and historic guest rooms, Phase 3 focuses on the hotel's first floor public spaces and is set to be completed this fall. The renovations will accentuate the grandeur of Milwaukee's most beautiful lobby while reinforcing the hotel's approachable sophistication. Experience the newly renovated guest rooms today. Start planning your stay at thepfisterhotel.com.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Unfortunately, it's not too early to start thinking about those upcoming heating bills. At Hometown's huge New Berlin showroom, you can compare energy-efficient windows from Andersen, Pella, Marvin, and more. Like me, you'll get a dedicated project consultant to guide you to the products that best fit your home, style, and budget, along with employee carpenters who respect your home. Do what I did. Contact Hometown Windows and Doors today. Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. 414-329-1200 or online at hometownwindows.com.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday's Save On, 6-count Mega Roll Angel Soft Bath Tissue, $6.99. 3 to 6 count or 14-ounce selected varieties Häagen-Dazs Ice Cream or Bars, $3.99. 8-count selected varieties Jimmy Dean Breakfast Sandwiches, $9.99. 13 to 15-ounce selected varieties Land O'Lakes Spreadable Butter, $3.49.
I am starving.
Oh, no. Never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh. Oh, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against San Francisco November 24th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
I'm shopping at Century alone next time.
Enter by November 6th.
At my company, we're always looking for people who are passionate and ready to work, but it's not always easy. It's time to broaden our horizons. In Wisconsin, about 600,000 people with disabilities are ready and able to work. People that just need you to believe in them and say yes.
And once you say yes, Thinkability Wisconsin will be there, providing transition and workforce support to help shape a better future for all. It all starts when you say yes. Join the movement at thinkabilitywi.org.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Retire well with Kowal.
Our team of fiduciary advisors are here to help you retire well with our streamlined retirement process. Give us a call today at 262-522-4040 or visit us at thekowalway.com.
Join John McCure and the WTMJ Cares campaign. Help us preserve the legacy of local hero Captain Lance Saigon, who died as a POW in Vietnam. Text Lance to 855-616-1620 to learn how you can support this vital cause. Honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice for us. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Your top story: investigating an unknown substance sent to election officials.
I'm Julia Fellow. A surprise discovery made during the demolition of Northridge Mall.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Got some backups on southbound 43 starting at about Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. You will be back on the brakes from about Fond du Lac Avenue all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Northbound slowing down out of the Marquette all the way up past Fond du Lac as well. And then on southbound 41 slowing from before Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, patchy fog, a low of 55 inland. Tomorrow, sunny and beautiful, a high of 78. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, federal investigators are investigating letters sent to election officials nationwide, some of them containing an unknown substance.
Powder-containing packages were sent to secretaries of state and state election offices in Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Wyoming. The FBI and U.S. Postal Inspection Service told CBS News they're working to safely collect the letters and determine just what the suspicious substance is, who sent it, and why. Officials in Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Iowa say they've concluded there was no threat, and the Oklahoma Board of Elections said the substance they got was found to be flour. Michael Toscano, CBS News, Washington.
Decision Wisconsin. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s name will stay on the November ballot. A Dane County judge ruled yesterday the candidates must remain on the ballot unless they die. Kennedy is likely to appeal.
A suspect is in custody with help from a canine officer. Pleasant Prairie police followed a limo driving under the speed limit near 92nd and Sheridan on Monday afternoon. When officers tried to initiate a traffic stop, the driver sped off, eventually losing control and crashing into a ditch. The driver fled on foot into the woods. Officers eventually found him in a fight. He bit an officer. Canine chase helped by biting back. 37-year-old Bradley Semrich of Portage was eventually arrested on possession of drugs, bail jumping, and resisting arrest while having outstanding warrants as a convicted felon.
Tense conversations continue regarding a controversial Milwaukee mural depicting a swastika blended with a Jewish Star of David. The mural has been vandalized multiple times before going up last week. Isan Atta owns the building and reacted just yesterday to the Milwaukee Common Council condemnation of the mural over the weekend.
They chose to release a statement that not only reflected their ignorance, but one that actually encouraged division and hatred. And then you wonder why we have problems in the city that go unresolved.
Atta says if the Common Council condemns the war in Gaza, he would consider removing the mural.
The latest buzz around the old Northridge Mall in Milwaukee isn't the demolition, it's the bees.
A unique discovery in an abandoned mall. Thousands of honeybees made their home, their hives, inside Northridge.
We were looking at ways to get into the mall and basically decommission the building, and he found them both at the Yonkers and at the JCPenney entrances.
Ken Balistreri's company is in charge of prep work before the old Milwaukee Mall is demolished. Field Supervisor Nazim Agushi is the man who found the hives.
It's got to be at least 3-4 years old.
Agushi is also the one moving the bees. Their future home, Balistreri's farm.
We have a farm that needs pollination. So let's bring them back.
Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
The Brewers have all but locked up the NL Central Division with 12 games to play. A stark contrast preseason. Prediction that suggested the Brewers would struggle.
77.5 wins. That was the over-under on the Brewers' win total back in March. 5.5 months later, the Brewers are closing in on 90 victories and a division title.
Christian Yelich has a resurgent season and is lost for the entire second half. Brandon Woodruff is out for the whole year. Corbin Burns is traded. And they have the best run differential in baseball.
Brewers.com writer Adam McCalvey believes team youth could serve the team well in the postseason.
What you, I think, want to do is set a tone and a culture that allows the players to just go out and play.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Coming up, a different kind of dog race.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:05.
This report is sponsored by Diamonds Direct. Your love, their passion.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for Universal Windows Direct. Football season is here. You know what that means. Fall is just around the corner with cooler temperatures on the way. Time to make sure your home is ready. If you've been dealing with drafty windows all summer, now is the perfect time to upgrade with Universal Windows Direct before the cold weather hits. Call 414-410-2000. Schedule your free in-home estimate today. For every 2 windows you buy, get the next 2 free. Plus, if you need it, 0% financing for 60 months for the last windows you will ever need. Go to UWD.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Sighting Unlimited WTMJ News Time 5:07.
It is off to the races for dog lovers in San Francisco. About 70 dachshunds raced to the finish line. It was organized by a club called the SF Weens as part of their 8th anniversary.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Brewers can wrap up the division and a playoff berth with a win tonight over the Phillies and a Cubs loss to the Oakland A's. Coverage of tonight's game begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. And the Packers begin the practice week on Wednesday. Head coach Matt LaFleur says Jordan Love will need to practice at some point this week in order to play Sunday against the Titans.
Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 5:08.
Amish outdoor furniture with poly and wood available. And that poly is the richest of outdoor furniture. It's just about indestructible and will virtually last forever. At Erickson's, we have poly furniture in abundance, so you're guaranteed to see a great selection. The beauty of it is you can put it outside all year round and not worry about it, because the color runs all the way through, so it doesn't fade, and minor nicks and scratches won't hurt the look. Erickson's Landscape Supply. For an abundant selection of poly and wood Amish outdoor furniture, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better selection of metal yard art than we have here at Erickson's. Anything from natural and painted metal signs to painted roosters from 1 to 6 feet tall. Natural steel flying ducks and cattails. Cute little frogs, geckos, pigs, flamingos, and goats. And palm trees. The list is endless. And that's why you come here. Erickson's Landscape Supply, right on Spring Street in Union Grove, where you'll find a fantastic array of artisanal metal yard art. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Or better yet, drive on over and take a gander at the goods.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
That's us. Happy Tuesday.
It is us. How many days to Election Day? Where are we at? How many days
just
to Christmas?
Under 50.
Wait, how many days to Christmas? You know.
I think 199 today, right? Right? Yeah. So I think it's just under 50.
We are so close to the election, and everybody is just talking about it, arguing with family members. We have a lot of holidays around the corner where people will be talking about it, and neighbors. Police are reminding everyone to respect people's properties. People are putting up signs of who they're supporting, including Kurt Hazy. He says he was in his home in Wausau, looked out his front window just briefly, and he noticed something that caught his eye.
When I went out in the street to pick it up, I saw that it was on fire.
The other signs that I had, Democratic signs in my yard, were tossed into the street and torn up a little bit. But this sign with Harris was actually lit on fire.
Okay, so he's a Democrat. He looks out his window.
Yep.
And it was right against a tree, propped up against a tree.
Literally burning.
Yes. And so police and firefighters were like, this could have become an arson situation, possibly. It could have been a lot worse. And it's really dry up north. It's just wasn't a very good idea. Wausau police were actually interviewed. This is by WSAW, by that station. They said this could be criminal damage to property if they catch whoever did this.
We live in America, and people can express their views and idea or opinions about political candidates in their own properties.
So he was saying this is the same kind of violation, okay? If you're going to rip up, set on fire someone else's signs that says, vote for whoever, it is called damage of property. So you can steal it or you can damage it. You may get that. It is a crime. The code is 943.01. He even knew the code. So it all applies to these incidents, and all reports of such violations are investigated. Charges could be referred. You could, it's criminal behavior, they say. And they're always telling people to respect property, not vandalize anything. So there were many other incidents where this has happened. The same guy said in 2016, he had a Hillary Clinton sign that was ripped down as well. And in this case, everything was ripped up into the street, and then that one was torched.
I mean, that's dangerous. You could set somebody's house on fire. You're trespassing into their yard to go to the sign. Just be respectful.
And let's just say it's the other side, then someone supporting Trump.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Leave that sign alone, too. Don't do that.
What if that was set on fire?
Yep.
It's just common courtesy, not right. And
I hope they find out who does it and charges them, criminally charges them.
Okay, so that's what the Wauwatosa police want. They want him to put up cameras. So if someone does it again, that they are able to catch the person who did it. By the way, your political signs, though, they must be taken down. I didn't know this. No more than 7 days after a political election.
I didn't know that either.
So if you have a sign up, vote for Trump, vote for Harris, vote for whoever, you got to take those signs down within 7 days.
I wish that happened. You see them up for a long time after that.
Oh, my goodness, right?
Yeah, I never knew that. 7 days. Interesting. It's 5:13 at WTMJ. Up next, my conversation with Colonel Charles Merkel. He is the guy in charge of the 128th Air Refueling Wing here in Milwaukee. It's part of our continuing coverage to honor the legacy of Lance Saijan.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 2. Join John each week as he challenges financial advice you've been given and reaffirms what you know to be true. If your financial plan doesn't include taxes, insurance, estate planning, and investing, it's incomplete and you can't afford to miss out. At Creative Planning, we provide all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house. To learn more, visit creativeplanning.com/radio.
Wisconsin's volunteers are making a difference in our communities every single day. Find the perfect volunteer opportunities for you at volunteerwisconsin.org. You can filter by location, organization, cause, accessibility, and more, all to help find the best fit for you. Go to volunteerwisconsin.org or get in touch with your local United Way or Volunteer Center today. VolunteerWisconsin.org is hosted by United Way of Wisconsin and Serve Wisconsin. Paid for by United Way of Wisconsin.
Jeff Levering here. How are baseball and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin alike? Pella manufactures all their own products. Baseball teams develop their own players in the minors. Pella tests every product thousands of times to ensure it stands the test of time. A baseball player's ultimate test is to get called up to the big leagues, hoping to play well enough to stay. Right now at Pella, get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Certain restrictions apply. It ends September 30th. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Hey, Wisconsin, Jim Bob Morse here. Get ready to break out the Bandito with El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day. 100% blue Weber agave, award-winning, all-natural, additive-free, and the smoothest tequila Milwaukee, Madison, and Titletown has ever tasted. Get yours today at La Pina on 3rd Street or your favorite local store. Remember, you always win with the undefeated flavor of El Bandito Yankee tequila. And for events, recipes, and places for purchase, go to elbanditoyankee.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment. Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
All right. Debbie Lazaga is checking out the roads. How are things, Deb?
Well, things are backing up just a bit. We got some debris on the ramp from Hampton Avenue to 41 southbound. That's going to be adding to your already kind of heavy delays anyway. From Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. We've got some more debris on 41 southbound at Watertown Plank Road. Also blocking the left lane, so watch out for that. Not seeing delays with that one right at the moment, but that's just something to keep in mind. Westbound 94 backups out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, back on the brakes from the zoo all the way into Waukesha County. And eastbound 94, you're on and off the brakes, basically from Highway G to Highway 16, Highway F all the way through to about Calhoun. Back on the brakes, heading into the zoo interchange and out all the way to the stadium interchange. So ride 'em, cowboy. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, patchy fog, a low of 53 degrees inland. That's good sleeping weather, a little warmer along the lake. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 86. On Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 82. On Friday, cloudy, 83. On Saturday, cloudy, 80. No rain in sight anywhere. That lawn's going to stay crunchy. Right now, it's sunny and 76 degrees. As you probably know, we're in the middle of a WTMJ Cares campaign. It's preserving the legacy of Lance Sijon, a local hero whose F-4 jet, a replica of that jet, is out at our airport. It's at Sijon Plaza. It's in disrepair. It needs some work. Colonel Charles Merkel is the guy in charge of the 128th Air Refueling Wing at our airport. And he's a great guy, outstanding character, good leader. The men and women out there really follow his lead, and he leads in a lot of other areas. I wanted to talk to him about Lance Sijon and Sijon's legacy. You know the story of Lance Sijon.
I do, yeah.
Tell me about Lance Sijon, how inspiring he is, why his story is important.
Well, when we prepare to go overseas and do the training for that, one thing we do is we go to SEER school, which is survival, evasion, resistance, and escape for anyone who's at risk of becoming a POW themselves. And they talk about how we're expected to act. They talk about our military code of conduct, which there's 6 points in the code of conduct, and 4 of those apply directly to POWs. And when you read Lance's story, it's extremely motivating, and he is the epitome of a POW who upheld all those points of the code of conduct. So it's very motivating for someone in uniform to read his story and to help him, affect how we would act in that situation.
So, Colonel, when you think about his story, he crashes, he's in the jungle for 46 days, he loses 100 pounds, literally, compound fracture,
Right.
Can move like 10 feet a day. He's eventually captured, and then, despite being severely injured and beaten and tortured, refuses to give in to that code of conduct that you're all very familiar with.
Right.
Can you talk about that?
Well, he was relentless, and what I took away from the book is that he had the highest standards for his own personal conduct, and he was just a tough and a driven individual, and he was not going to sacrifice his reputation to be more comfortable or to try and get out unscathed or anything like that. He was going to fight till the end, and he certainly did that.
I want to thank you for your service, and as someone who wears the uniform, What kind of inspiration does it give you when you hear a story about a local hero from 50 years ago and what he did?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and we're honored to be serving right next to where he grew up, and it motivates me to do better. I think it should motivate all of us to do better, and part of the challenge is making sure that we know his story, and that our current generation and future generations of uniformed members know who Lance Syjan is and what he did. But particularly, hey, we're serving in the Milwaukee area here. He's a local hero, and we should know his story. And on the base at the 128th Refueling Wing, we have a hall named after him, and we have a spot designated to tell his story, and we want our people to pay attention to that.
I appreciate that. I know his family does, how you respect his legacy and you continue to live that legacy. Part of the legacy is that F4 Phantom that's on Howell Avenue at our airport. It looks really cool, but if you look really close, it needs work, and you know because you've been out there.
Yes.
And I appreciate that. How important is it that that part of his legacy be preserved and that we take care of that?
Yeah, I think that's part of it, is showing that respect by making sure that memorial is always cared for and maintained properly. And yes, we did go out there quite recently with some of our experts who are able to maintain aircraft, and we wanted to see, hey, is there anything the 128th can do to help out with the repair and the maintenance of the site? So we've got some ideas, and hopefully you can be part of that solution.
What did you discover? And you don't need to get really in the weeds, but when you went out there and looked at the plane and could take a close look at it, paint the picture. What needs to be done? Yeah,
it's time. It needs a new coat of paint, maybe a little bit of repair on the radome. And then one thing, when you preserve airplanes, you want to make sure that they're all closed up, that there's no areas for animals or birds to get in. And there are some areas on that airplane that need a little attention. So that's something that maybe we could do, is fabricate some screens and some panels to close out openings that are on the airplane, like vents and air intakes and things like that. So we're going to get our experts out there and see if we can do that. And as we go through this process of getting the airplane painted, which, the effort that you're leading here, if we can be part of that solution, we'd want to do that.
It's important, isn't it, that we respect our heroes and we give them the dignity and that their legacy lives on. Is that important?
Absolutely. And what we've got set up out there with the F4 and the site around there, it is a beautiful spot. It's very nicely done. It's classy, and when you go there, you kind of get that feeling like it's an area to sit and reflect and pay some respect to a local fallen hero.
Very well put. That is Colonel Charles Merkel, who is here at the studio today. Paying honor and respect to a fallen hero. That's what we're doing. We're raising money to fix that cool jet that you see sitting out there. Part of Hero Lance Syjan's legacy is that F4 jet at our airport, which sits in Syjan Plaza. It needs to be painted, needs to be repaired. I'm asking for your help. We're only doing this for a couple more days. Will you help us raise the $50,000? And if we raise more than that, we can set up a fund and preserve it for years and years and years and years and years to come. So help us restore the plane. All donations are tax deductible. Text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. You get the info on how to donate, and it's very easy. Text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. You were out there.
I know. I think it's so wonderful that it is a replica plane of what he was flying to protect our country that went down. His little sister, who he took to the Air Force stands.
Yeah, when she was 7.
Yeah. It is doing it in his memory. I saw that the nose is kind of peeling, the paint.
Looks bad.
We need to make this right. And I'm really admire you that you are putting this on and that WTMJ Cares is doing this. So I hope that people donate. I really do. We want to make this right for this hero who's from here.
Bayview. It's interesting you raised the nose cone, because Charles Merkel told me after we taped the interview, the 128th wants to take it off and fix it and repaint it immediately.
Oh.
They want to get up there and fix it. That's what they do at the 128th. They take care of us. They take care of each other. Text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. Thank you, Colonel Merkel, for talking to us. All right, let's check out those markets. How did they do? Well, it's a mixed bag. Tomorrow's a big day. Kind of stocks were flat as they await the official decision from the Fed tomorrow. The NASDAQ was up a little bit, up 36 points. The Dow was down a little bit, down 74 points. The S&P was off 7.5 points on the day. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Cornerstone Development. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Connect Chiropractic, I go every single week. You know why? Not because they tell me to, not because the docs say I really need to, because I feel better when I go. Dr. Alex, Dr. Marley, Dr. Olivia, the rest of their staff are fantastic. Connect Chiropractic, voted Milwaukee's top chiropractor. Tosa, Delafield, 2 locations. Connect Chiropractic. I have upper back pain and my neck is not great. So they help me be able to do everything that I want to do. They also help with headaches and sleep concerns. It's a long-term care focus on total wellness at Connect Chiropractic. You should be able to be in the yard, be with your grandkids, be on the golf course, do whatever you want with no pain. That's what they help you get at Connect Chiropractic.
Making a move from the home you have loved and cherished for so many years can not only be a challenge for you, but can also be stressful for the entire family. This is Jean Nemelvitz from Bruce's team. Let us help you start the conversation, so when the time is right, we can make the process simple and easy, just as we've done for thousands of families. Let us take you from overwhelmed to I can do this. Call 262-242-6177 or visit brucesteam.com.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Debbie Lazaga here for Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services, family owned for 150 years. Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get $1,000 off and 0 interest for 12 months on your Luckstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote, with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market and how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. It's sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining us today, Jeff Salazinski, Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, talking about employee benefits today. R&R Insurance provides those benefits for all of us here at Good Karma Brands. Thank you. Great program. What are some signs for business owners that they might be with the wrong provider?
Thank you, Vince. It's great to be here. That's a great question. Given that employee benefits are one of the largest expenses a company bears, and it impacts its company's greatest asset, their employees, selecting the right employee benefits insurance partner is one of the utmost important decisions you can make. If you're seeing last-minute employee benefit renewal proposals leaving you forced to make a quick decision without adequate information, benchmarks, or data, you're with the wrong agent or broker. If your insurance agent does not design a comprehensive enrollment strategy, you're with the wrong agent or broker.
Sounds like you've heard these stories here, Jeff. Agencies out there not taking care of business owners like they should be.
There are, Vince. R&R Insurance can erase your bad agency experience. We'll use strategy, data, benchmarks, and our expert resources will help you control costs while maximizing the value of your employee benefit plan. We leave no stone unturned when it comes to finding innovative and cost-effective solutions. Plus, we provide local management and local service support right here in your backyard.
That local is so important. What else at R&R Insurance sets you apart?
We help employers brand their benefit package in a customized, easy-to-understand fashion, taking out the complex and confusing nature of shopping for employee benefits. More importantly, we'll manage and provide as much support as you need for a successful open enrollment and beyond.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Hey, you can listen back to my webinar with Annex Wealth Management's Dave Spano and Chief Economist Brian Jacobson, where we took a look at how the sunset of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act might affect the markets. We reviewed similar moments in history. We discussed if the federal government has the ability to reverse course. Visit the Annex Wealth Management webinar page at WTMJ.com.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: exploding pagers in Lebanon and Syria.
I'm Julia Fellow. A problematic intersection in Dodge County.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and westbound 894 going to be slow through the construction zone from the Mitchell all the way to 68th Street. Eastbound has gone back to pretty much normal. Northbound 4394 heavy from Oklahoma Avenue all the way up past Lincoln, and then back on the brakes up past Beecher Street. And then on the southbound side of 43, we've got delays from Silver Spring down to Capitol, and then from North Avenue down through the Marquette all the way down to about Beecher Street as well. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be mostly clear. Patchy fog possible at the lake 60, inland 53. Tomorrow mostly sunny. A high inland of 86. At the lake, 80 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, 9 people were killed and thousands wounded when pagers used by members of the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah exploded almost simultaneously in Lebanon and Syria. Hezbollah blaming Israel for the explosions. The Lebanese Ministry of Public Health saying some of the victims are civilians. The Pentagon says the U.S. had no involvement in the pager attack against Hezbollah.
Serious injuries at a problematic intersection in Dodge County. The deputies responded to a serious crash we told you about at U.S. Highway 151 and County Road C in Trenton just before 5 p.m. Sunday. 31-year-old Jenny Wolk of Waupun hit another car at the intersection, sustained serious enough injuries to be taken by Flight for Life to Madison. She was eventually arrested for driving drunk, while the driver in the other car was unharmed. The Dodge County Sheriff said the intersection is planned for reconstruction in 2025 to increase safety, and it was unfortunate that another accident happened there.
It's unknown if an elementary school in Jefferson will be open today. East Elementary was closed today. Will it be open tomorrow is the question. After an overnight fire, the cause of that fire is still being investigated. Fire officials say it started in the generator room in the basement.
New research says black women have higher risk of dying from breast cancer compared to white women. CBS Philadelphia's Stephanie Stahl explains why.
Black women with breast cancer have a higher risk of dying than their white counterparts, according to new research published in the Journal of Clinical Oncology. The study from Massachusetts General Hospital says there's a 17 to 50% disparity depending on the type of breast cancer. The report also blames socioeconomic inequality, delays in diagnosis, inadequate access, and systemic racism. Researchers say it's a call to action to confront the inequities and strive for meaningful change. Stephanie Stahl for CBS News, Philadelphia.
COVID cases are going up.
COVID-19 cases in Wisconsin are at high levels of activity, and the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, citing data from the CDC, says nearly half of all states are reporting very high levels in wastewater. That's how the CDC monitors the virus. Hospitalizations in Wisconsin have been increasing since the spring at about 200 patients, but the current levels of the virus still much lower than during the height of the pandemic. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
The Brewers take the field tonight against the Phillies with a magic number of 2 to clinch the NL Central Division title. The champagne is on ice in the clubhouse at American Family Field.
But not every player is legally able to drink it. Jackson Churio doesn't turn 21 until March.
Can a 20-year-old
spray champagne if he just promises not to drink it.
Now, that seems fine, but according to Brewers.com writer Adam McKelvey, celebrations today aren't exactly what they used to be.
I don't think they all go out on an all-night bender after these clinchers anymore. I think this is a spraying champagne kind of thing. They do not party like they used to in Major League Baseball. So maybe it's not even a problem because the guys are mostly just spraying the stuff and not necessarily drinking all of it.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
The rock group Jane's Addiction will not be playing Milwaukee this weekend. It's canceled its tour days after two members of the band were fighting on stage. Dave Navarro and Perry Farrell duked it out while performing in Boston. Band members blamed a continuing pattern of behavior and mental health difficulties for the lead singer, Farrell. He apologized for his actions. The band was to play the BMO Pavilion in Milwaukee on Sunday.
For the first time in 60 years, Miss Wisconsin competition has a new home for next year. The beauty pageant will move to New Berlin West Performing Arts Center. The event has been held at Oshkosh West High School since 1963. Next year's Miss Wisconsin competition takes place June 18th.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all, Sports Desk. The Magic number's now 2. The Brewers can wrap up the division and a playoff berth with a win tonight over the Phillies and a Cubs loss to the Oakland A's. Coverage of tonight's game begins after the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. And Packers head coach Matt LaFleur says Jordan Love will need to practice at some point this week to play Sunday against the Titans.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:36.
WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac, where the SUV season sales event is on. Perfect timing to gear up for fall trips. Get more Mazda for your money, more for your trade, and discover car buying that makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. Fans like me. Fun, simple, and pressure-free. Car shopping is the way it works at Holiday. Their clearly marked price and simplified buying approach lets you relax and focus on finding the one that's right for you. Then pair it up with money-saving incentives to lower your bottom line. Right now, well-qualified buyers can lock in finance rates as low as 0% on 2024 all-wheel drive favorites, like the invigorating Mazda CX-5 or CX-30, off-road-ready Mazda CX-50, the three-row, roomy and responsive Mazda CX-90, and more. Treat yourself to a test drive. Find yours and drive it home today from Wisconsin's #1. Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky is with us. He's still recovering from his appendix, which is still in there, but is not in good shape. Niz, how you feeling today?
Each day gets a little bit better, a little bit more mobility. Big appointment Thursday.
Okay.
This is probably all getting to be too TMI.
No, I played it for my husband. Jason's so worried about you, and we have people texting.
Yes, people are texting, want to make sure you're okay.
Thursday is I meet with the people who take care of the drain that's in me. I'm hoping he says let's get this thing out of here because that's one of the most limiting things that I have. It doesn't feel very good. It limits how I sleep. It limits like how active I can be. Obviously, I'm not going to be running marathons no matter what, but it just I'm lugging around a drain in a bag. So let's get this thing out of there.
Yeah, get it out of there. So we're wondering, because you're going to have your appendix out in 6 weeks and you're still on the IV antibiotics and all that stuff, how are you eating and can you drink alcohol?
I have yet to drink alcohol, and I did not have a hankering for it this last weekend.
Yep.
And I really, unless there's an event, I'm not cracking brews during the week, especially because then I would it'd be like a lonely brew at like 11 o'clock at night for me. So,
are you limited though? Did they tell you whether you can?
I did not hear any advisement on that, but and in my packet I did not see.
That sounds like a yes.
So we'll see what this weekend brings. So no on that. They really, they just take it easy. Kind of was the advice basically.
Well,
so
but
food wise is I have not had a strong appetite. There's been certain things that I've eaten, and there's been certain times where I gotta eat, but. Yes, I would say my appetite is way down compared to where it's been, which I mean, I'm definitely getting my nutrition, so I'm cool with it, because if I ate my normal platter right now, it's a lot of food because I'm normally very, very active.
Yep,
so
exactly.
I'm good with it right now. Yeah. So.
All right, pal. Well, we're keeping you in our thoughts and our prayers. We're
Absolutely.
glad that you're back
Thanks
to work.
for sharing all of that yesterday. I appreciate it.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, I figure if it maybe also like if it helps a couple people out, with a certain pain that maybe they're feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you feel something's wrong with you and you're just going to be like, oh, I can tough it out. No.
Go get it checked out. Get it checked out.
Yeah. And part of me was like, hey, I'm of this really pristine health. Everything's going good. My numbers are good. I've never had a surgery in my life.
Right.
That mentality, I think made matters a little bit worse, where I should have gone to the doctor a little bit sooner, because I didn't want to believe that something was wrong.
Yeah. All right, Niz, how about tonight and the next couple days? Any shot at rain?
Yeah. Not much, although there is a change to the forecast. There is some hope late Thursday night into Friday morning that we could get a line of showers and storms. But given that timing, it's going to be hard to guarantee that. In the meantime, tonight, mainly clear skies, a little bit of patchy fog, a low of 60 in Milwaukee, 55 inland. For tomorrow, mostly sunny and beautiful, 78 near the lake, 84 degrees inland. Very similar to today, just an awesome summer day. Now, I know there's a lot of fall lovers out there waiting for that sweater weather. You're going to be waiting for a while. Mostly sunny and warm on Thursday, high of 84. Then that chance of showers and storms, we're talking well after midnight Thursday night into Friday morning. Partly cloudy on Friday, a high of 84. Also more humid. Saturday, partly cloudy and a high of 81. Another chance for showers and storms on Sunday, so keep an eye on that. That will be our next chance for some rain.
Guess who's going to be on tomorrow at noon on TMJ4 News as a guest?
Ooh.
Yes.
Who's this? Oh, gosh. You.
Mr. Mercure.
Me. I'm talking about our Lance John fundraising effort. We're raising money for his memorial at the airport, and I'm coming on at noon. It's going to be fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I still have the code to the building.
I'll have to tune in.
Will you be there?
No, he won't.
I won't be there.
Okay.
No, but I'll make sure I turn it on. I'll probably be administering, sitting there in my living room with my IV hooked up. So we'll tune in.
All right. Well, when I wink with my left eye, know that it's coming for you.
I love it. Thank you. I'll get a little twinkle in my eye.
That's right.
Yeah.
Niz, take it easy tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, see ya.
It is 5:42 at WTMJ.
The biggest names in the basketball world.
Dame Dollar Lillard.
Having fun and honest conversations.
He puts it in the shoe, right? And sets the tone for brothers and sisters and family.
Every week, Thanasis Adetokounmpo sits down with special guests on Thanalysis Show. Presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel and curbless, ready-to-drink cocktails.
Fantastic.
Find Thanalysis Show on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And on YouTube by searching Thanalysis Show.
Quality roofing, siding, and window manufacturers offer extremely solid warranties.
But you have to make sure that the contractor you hire will outlast them and be there to support you. Right, Dad?
Hi, I'm Randy Miller from All Right Home and Remodeling. You can trust that our second generation,
third generation,
fourth generation,
family-owned company will be here for you and your children and their children.
And their children's children.
Learn more at ALLRITE remodeling.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Griffin. It's Griffin all the way. You know what? They've got the best service department. It's one of the things I don't talk about enough, and I should. It's a service department at Griffin. Right now, they've got something pretty cool going on, actually. It's a Griffin tire special at Griffin Chevrolet. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires with free tire repair and lifetime tire rotation. Cannot be combined with any other tire offers. Tire must be mounted, balanced, and installed at Griffin Chevrolet. See Service Advisor for details. It's Griffin Chevrolet. You got recall stuff. Sometimes you get something in the mail. If there's a recall on your vehicle. This has happened to me. Take it to the Griffin dealership. They'll take care of it the right way. They do this professionally. Their service department is top tier. I just talked to Jim Griffin today. We were talking about selection of the new cars. There's a lot of new cars. You can drive one home right now. 100 vehicles in stock, ready to be delivered. Fresh selection, every day literally, at Griffin Chevrolet. Bought my wife's new car at Griffin not that long ago. It's Griffin Chevrolet and the Metro Auto Mall. It's Griffin.
Buying a home should be a joy, but could you imagine doing this without a realtor? Paperwork, inspections, appraisals, deadlines, showings, market research? Or you could relax. Or understanding legal documents, negotiating offers, coordinating inspections, securing finance. Oh, Sorry. A realtor can take the stress out of the home buying process. See how at wra.org/a-realtor-can. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Realtors Association.
Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Vince Vitrano for Johnson & Sons Paving. Summer is here, but before we know it, we'll be prepping for winter. Johnson & Sons Paving wants to make sure you're ready by remembering the 3 R's of parking lot and asphalt maintenance. Reseal every 2 to 3 years. Repair when you see signs of cracking or potholes. And replace if there's standing water, warping, buckling, or sinking. Don't scare those customers or tenants away with a bad parking lot. Connect with Johnson & Sons today to make those minor repairs before they become huge headaches. Visit johnsonsonspaving.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. Traffic brought to you by Annex Wealth Management. Financial and retirement planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Ready for you at AnnexWealth.com.
Be greeted by an owner at America's largest employee-owned jewelry store.
Welcome to Kessler's.
All right, let's get you where you need to safely with Debbie Lazaga. Hey, Deb.
Hey there. All right. Southbound 43, we got some backups from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. Southbound 41, pretty much the same thing. Just before Silver Spring, you'll hit the brakes, and those delays will take you right past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94, heavy right into the Highway 16 area, and then again from Highway F all the way through the Barker Road, and then back on the brakes from 92nd Street all the way to Hawley Road, with the westbound side of 94 backing up out of the Marquette all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard, and then westbound on 894 still heavy through that construction zone out of the Mitchell interchange pretty much all the way to 68th Street. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Major Garrett is CBS's chief Washington correspondent. The Takeout podcast is heard here on WTMJ. It's good conversation, good food. It's always a whole lot of fun. His books are The Big Truth and Mr. Trump's Wild Ride. Agent, thank you so... Agent, I just called you. That's his other podcast.
Agent Garrett.
Agent of Betrayal is Major's other podcast. See, it was meant to be that I was supposed to say that.
Yes.
Major, good afternoon. Thanks for being with us.
It's great to be with you. How is everybody?
Everybody's good.
Good.
Wanted to get your take on the latest assassination attempt. When you heard what had happened and you heard some of the detail, guy hiding in a bush, a rifle, Secret Service a hole before, thank goodness that they were paying attention, actually. What goes through your mind when you think about the state of politics and the state of our country and the two of them merging?
Wow, that's a big question. Let me just share with the audience my awareness and understanding of the public access road, meaning the place in which the public transits near Trump International Golf Course close to Mar-a-Lago. When former President Trump was elected and we started to cover him from Mar-a-Lago, journalists like myself went to that fence line to see if it would ever be possible to use a television camera to take pictures of him playing golf.
As you do with a lot of, a lot of presidents, you get them. Mm-hmm.
Right, for purposes of capturing the president playing golf when he's doing that, maybe seeing who he's with, who he's golfing with. It's always an interesting thing. Historians pore over that. It's good to know who the president's spending either leisure or semi-leisure or non-leisure time at all. I remember being with former President Clinton on an overseas trip. He played a round of golf and secured a free trade deal while playing golf, so it can sometimes be a work thing. And it was pointed out back then to then President Trump, this is a publicly accessible space, and it's hard to have Secret Service everywhere there, and this potentially in the future could pose a risk, because if someone with a television camera can sort of wedge their way inside the hedges there, maybe somebody who has ill intent could do the same thing. So I have actual experience going up along that area. I will tell you, when I did that, sometimes I went undetected with my producer. Many times we did not go undetected. Either local or Secret Service said, "Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here." We're like, "Okay, we're just trying to get a shot, see if we can see the president." No problem. They saw our press credentials, so on and so forth. My only point about that is a hard place to universally and perpetually secure. It creates a lot of problems, manpower and otherwise, for the Secret Service and local law enforcement. And it's always been a complication for President Trump because some people think Mar-a-Lago and the golf course are one thing. They're not. They're separate things separated by a short drive. That's just the tactical eyes on what this place is like. I hope that's of some use to the listeners.
It's fascinating.
What does it all? Yeah. So what does it all mean? I don't know what it all means. There's a guy who's there who had a weapon sufficient to injure the president and others from about 400 yards with a scope. That's all we need to know about the potential lethality of that situation. It's a crime. It's a law enforcement event. We don't know what his motives are. We don't know what his background is other than to say there is some evidence he voted for Trump in 2016, possibly got disillusioned, gave a little bit of money here and there to Democrats. But we don't know if any of that bore on his motives for that day. We just don't know. Lots of people want to assume things about that. I don't know. And until law enforcement goes through enough and produces enough information to make a declaration one way or the other, I think we should hold off. Now we have this other conversation about whose rhetoric is most to blame. And I'm going to make this observation. I'm not trying to both sides this, and I'm not trying to cop out. But I have spent enough time reading about long-running, decades-long conflicts in the Middle East. I spent a long time during the Clinton administration learning about the troubles in Northern Ireland and the aggressive efforts to try to turn the troubles into something calmer. I've read about civil wars, long-running in Central America and South America, and here's the one thing that they all have in common. If nobody forgets a slight, a fault, an action, a rhetorical jab that feels particularly wounding, if no one ever forgets or forgives, everyone has reason to blame the other, and the cycle never ends. And my observation about that is that's where I feel we are in America. Nobody forgets, nobody forgives, and everyone is willing to blame the other instantly for something that might not have in the moment all the evidence behind it to reach a rational conclusion. But a political blame game can begin almost instantly, and that's what happens in societies that do not forgive, do not forget, and do not look to find commonality or common purpose for that society. That's my biggest concern right now.
This sort of takes us into something that Elon Musk says he was joking about and then deleted the tweet on X saying, why isn't anyone going after...
No one is even trying to assassinate President Joe Biden or Vice President Kamala Harris. What do you make of that?
I mean, there's a reason he deleted it. It is, well, let's just think about it this way. What do you think would be happening either in your home or your workplace if either of you had written that? Or if I had written that?
I'd be gone.
What do you think would have happened? You would have been questioned by the Secret Service or local law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Almost immediately, and deservedly so, okay? Because, I'm sorry, what is the sign that we see when we go through security at the airport? No joking about bombs, right? No joking. These are not jokes. Mm-hmm. We don't treat them as jokes because this is too serious. And I'm sorry. We're several weeks away from a very big, important election. I don't want to say this is a non-humor zone, but we don't joke or make light of or ask rhetorical questions about assassinations of anyone under any circumstance. And Elon Musk has a sort of place where he thinks he's secure from things that would, to any other American, instantaneously bring you under the scrutiny of either federal or local law enforcement. He's got a security clearance. He's got billions in federal contracts. He must feel like immune from all this. I wish he weren't. I wish someone would say, what are you talking about? You can't do that. You can't just wonder aloud in this atmosphere. And look, I don't want anything bad to happen to former President Trump. I am enraged that two bad things almost happened. And remember, 1 American was killed in Butler, Pennsylvania. 2 were wounded. We already have victims in our country during this election. We have a family shattered at Butler, Pennsylvania. Lost their father and their husband. Let's all look into this place and say, can't we do better? Can't we be better? Can't we, if not forget, at least try to find some way to not assume the worst about each other and understand that when this election is over, America will still be here. And the country we love will need to chart its future. And all of us are going to be a part of that story.
Yes, one shout out to you, Major. You were right, spot on. David Muir did ask about admitting during the debate about him saying that he admitted that he lost and lost by a whisker.
Yes.
Gold Star Award. You got that.
Nailed it.
I was like, Major.
That's what we were both screaming at our TVs that night. Major Garrett, that's right.
Wait, what did you call him? Captain Major? What was it again?
Oh no, he should be Major General. Major General Garrett.
Yeah.
Major General, yes, Major General.
All right.
Major Garrett, CBS's Chief Washington Correspondent. We always appreciate you making some time for us. Thank you, Major.
Always a pleasure. We'll talk next week.
Oh, seriously. And you ought to check out his podcast. That podcast, Agent of Betrayal, is the real deal if you're looking for something cool to check out. It's 5:55 at